playing. So I need to do that on my dashboard.
Okay.
Edit stream info. And now we'll be playing Go. All right, and you already have an account on OGS?
Yes.
All right, so
Yeah,
for those who
I'm switching
don't know, we are going to be playing on the online Go server. It's online-go.com. So that's what we're going to be doing here. And let me just close all these tabs that I have open of chess now.
All right. So yeah, hopefully I'm looking at the right page here. I might need to format it once we actually get a board on there.
Yeah. If you want to go ahead and start formatting it, I can open up a demo board and just send you a link real quick.
Okay.
And let me just send you a link. I'll send you a link in Discord.
Holy cow! Thank you, Tetsuji. Thank you very much.
Oh, you get it. You got the Tetsuji dono. Tetsuji's been supporting this a lot.
Appreciate it.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, Tetsuji's great.
Oh yeah.
All right, so there's that chat window and this chat window. Actually, I need to close
I don't have my alert box on either, so I do apologize to anybody if I have missed any subs or donations or anything. I took it off so it wouldn't make noise when we're talking here.
Let's see. Then I'll pull that chat back up. Okay, so I have the Go board set up and everything. We also got the banner up, so we can see that too. Yeah, just let me know when you are able to join. I did send you the link in Discord, and then just when you got your scene set up, just let me know.
Yeah, just looking in the wrong place here. Fun game.
Oh, CL Smith tried to link it or link something, and Nightbot shot him down.
Nice.
Nightbot assassinated me so many times in the last collaboration stream. Now I'm afraid to post links in any chess stream because Nightbot just shoots me down.
Oh no, maybe some of the board is missing.
Did you click on the link in the Discord chat I sent?
Yeah. I'm trying to make it.
Oh, sorry. Your stream's just behind. God, sorry. I was watching your stream, forgetting the fact that there's a lag.
So I'm wondering too if So I need the board and the clock, right?
You just need the board. Honestly, the clock's not going to be super important unless you want to stream Go in the future. But for today, I don't know how important it is.
All right, just for viewers that maybe want to see it.
Gotcha.
Here's the midpoint of the board. I guess that looks okay. Yeah, that'll have to do. It looks, I guess, all right. Sweet. This board is big.
Awesome. And yeah, we will be going over, someone mentioned how do you play Go. We will be starting with how to play Go, so that way we can follow along what we do. And if you're interested, I would actually encourage to learn with like maybe your chat and stuff, and maybe play with the chat and stuff, and then I can maybe analyze some stuff. But yeah, we will be going over Stronger Than Alpha Zero. Oh, Stronger Than Alpha Zero. That's an interesting name, but we will be going over how to play Go.
Yeah, so all I know is that you surround stuff and you can take it or something like that. Yeah. And that's it. I really don't know anything. I'm a pure beginner when it comes to Go.
All right. No worries. That's actually so. For those who don't know who I am, I'm actually a Go instructor streamer, which means I stream like game reviews and teaching games and stuff. I basically get on stream and just teach whoever shows up and ask questions and stuff. That's what I do. Is I actually focus on teaching Go and spreading Go and like helping the Go community in general. So this is actually great because you're kind of actually my target audience, and my perfect audience is beginner Go players. So this will be great.
And yeah, just to be honest and real too with the people that are watching in the chat, I did want to do this with Clossius because I've seen a ton of his streams and they're all excellent, and it's just sitting there and it's him doing all this sort of beginner stuff. So that's definitely why I wanted to have this stream today.
Oh, and while we're here, I'm actually going to do a shout out to you. What is your YouTube again? It's not VampireChicken on YouTube, right?
Yeah, it's youtube.com/c/JonathanTron.
youtube.com/c/ youtube.com CJOHNATHAN. that correct, Jonathan? And then
JONATHANSCHRANTZ.
SCHRANTZ.
Yep.
All right, and let me put the HTTP and stuff. I'm gonna share that in my chat because I've seen your YouTube and I also liked it for the chess instructed stuff. You have a lot of like opening patterns, and I'm sure this is useful for chess players that actually know what openings are.
yeah, most of it is for just a little bit higher level than where Clossius, but he's gonna get there.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna get some practice first, and then I think this channel will be very useful for me. But I did shout out that for you and let the Go players in my channel just let you know that.
Thank you very much.
All right, you ready?
Yes, I am. Let's do this.
All right, so we're gonna start out on explaining. First off, I want to explain that the official board size is a 19 by 19 grid, but we're starting on smaller boards because it's usually recommended for beginners to work their way up because the 19 by 19 can be very overwhelming. And like with chess,
this looks pretty overwhelming. I'm used to 8 by 8.
We're actually going to reduce this down to a 5 by 5 after I explain the rules. I'm just going to use this for examples purposes. But like in chess, there is a sort of entry barrier. But unlike chess, not everyone knows how the pieces move by default. So I want to do my best. My goal today is to help everyone understand how to get through that entry barrier, so that way if you so choose, you can continue with Go and play Go without worrying about that entry level barrier. So the first thing I want to mention is something that I've discovered through these collaboration streams is that the clock time is different. I mentioned it earlier, but the Go clock uses the Byo-Yomi system, which means you have main time and then you have overtime, but your overtime is going to be sort of infinite, which means you have usually it's 30 seconds, and you have 30 seconds and you have 5 periods of 30 seconds. So that means if you play a move within 30 seconds, you'll keep getting 30 seconds every single move. But if you go over 30 seconds, then you'll lose a period. If you lose all of your periods and go over 30 seconds again, that's when you'll time out. So
interesting.
You sort of take a different approach in that you want to gather as much information as you can. So Go can be a lot slower than in my exposure to chess. Go is a lot slower. Just keep that in mind because I have found that is a
games. They go like for days. Is that how it works?
Yeah. So there's all kinds of different time settings, but in the most extreme sense, Japan is the one that uses 8 hours per side. So that goes for like 2 or 3 days, and where they're just playing for 10 hours.
Naps?
No. They pause the game at the end of the day, and like they seal a move. And what they do is actually whoever's turn it is plays a sealing move. So they get a piece of paper and they write their move on a piece of paper and seal it in an envelope, seal it in a safe, and then they play it on the next day.
Like adjournment in chess. Yeah, it's like the same thing.
Yeah, so that one is the extreme sense. Most tournaments don't do that nowadays. Only Japan still does that. But in the international tournaments, it's like 2 or 3 hours per side.
Gotcha.
And the big tournaments and stuff. Sensible. So it's a lot more reasonable. It doesn't take 3 days to play a game. With that being said, OGS does have a correspondence setting, which uses day-by-day settings. So you have like 1 day to play a move. That's kind of what it started as, is sort of this sense for players who have day jobs and stuff, can only check in for like 5-10 minutes a day, who can't play games. It started out that way, I guess, and kind of converted into a live system. But I'm going to be focusing on the live stuff. I just mentioned that because it's extra information for those interested. But let's go ahead and talk about the rules of the game. So the Go was actually developed in China, so this is a Chinese board game. So that means the stones are actually played on the intersections, not the squares. That's the first big difference from most games, because most games that we're used to, especially in the West, is playing inside the squares. So that's the first point. So when you say a 8x8 on the chessboard, that's actually a 9x9 grid for Go players. So 9x9 is the same size
on
as
the outside on the border.
Yeah, so you can also play on the corners, the edge, or whatever.
You can. Okay.
So you can actually play anywhere on the board, and so it's the opposite of chess. The further you go, the less pieces you have in chess, and in Go, you start with 0 pieces, so you'll be adding pieces to the board. So on your first move, you can actually play any intersection on the board, including the corners and the sides. But that might not necessarily be recommended, and we're going to talk about why. So first, let me talk about the goal. The goal of the game is actually to surround area. And so an example of that is this. So this actually surrounds this corner right here. So this would be considered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points of territory, which is the goal of the game, is to have more territory than your opponent. And there you go. That's half the rules right there. Anything surrounded by one color is considered territory, and your goal is to have more territory than your opponent.
I'm not good at math. How much territory is on this board?
I don't know offhand on the 13 by 13. 19 by 19, there's 361 points.
Okay.
So there's 361 points, but on
half of that, how much do I need to win?
So on the 19 by 19, if you can get to 60 points, you're pretty comfortable. If you can get to 70, you probably will be ahead. But like with chess, it's not about how many pieces you have on the board or how many points you have. It's how much you have compared to your opponent. So it's a really big relative sense. So you want to have more than your opponent, and everything is an exchange rate. And I think the chess point system might be very similar to that. It's about having more points on the board than your opponent. So that's half of it right there. Now, the other half is actually the more complicated part, which is what do you do if your opponent plays inside? Well, this is where the capture rule comes into place. So the capture rule states that the line connected to your stone, the lines connected to your stones, is actually considered your lifelines. So these like lines right here, these are pretty much your lifelines. So if you lose those lifelines, let's play a white move. If you lose these lifelines, your stone will actually be captured and removed from the board. And that is the attack and defense and go. So you want to move around the board, gaining as much value as you can. And then if your opponent goes inside of your area of control, then you want to try to capture it or remove it from the board. Or if they destroy yours, you can destroy theirs or whatever, right? And that goes into attack and defense, which can get very complicated, but I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible. But so when it's like this, when you only have one lifeline left, and these lifelines are called liberties. So when you have one lifeline left, your stone is considered an Atari, which means you're one move away from getting captured. The way to save it is actually to connect to it like so. Connected stones actually share their lifelines or share their liberties. So these two stones now have 3 liberties left. And that's pretty much the other half of the rules. And then the rest is just going to be learning the strategy. But that's pretty much the rules of Go right there. That's the two things you need to worry about is you want to surround more area and you don't want to get captured. And then everything kind of builds off of that premise. So before I move on, does anyone have any questions about that? I think one thing to note is they do not connect diagonally because there's no line right there. But if you have a stone right here, then they do connect because that one connects to that one connects to that one, and they're a connected group. Does everything make sense so far?
Yeah, I like it. The rules are simple. I have a feeling something incredibly difficult is coming, though.
Yeah, life and death. That's the complicated thing. But before we get into that, what I want to introduce is actually sort of a mini game. This is a way you can easily introduce Go to like beginners and children and stuff. This is what I taught in schools to kids and stuff and the youth. So what I'm actually going to do now is make a 5x5 board and then send you a link to that and then go over this little mini game. Which is actually going to be called Capture Go. And the reason I choose a 5x5 is because, one, it's very, very easy to get a piece of paper. I almost said that in your chat. Let me send this to you in Discord.
Okay.
And just let me know when you got that loaded.
Alrighty.
All right.
5x5.
So the 5x5 is usually what I introduced when I was teaching in schools and stuff. I was teaching chess and Go, and I called it the Mind Sports After School Club. So this is what we kind of did. And the reason I introduce it this way is because this is very easy to draw on a piece of paper and play with your family and friends while you're learning the game. So all you do is just make a 5x5 grid, and you actually just play whoever captures a stone first wins. So in Go, black plays first, unlike white. So black will play first, and then you can play anywhere you want. And then your opponent plays. You each take turn placing stones on the board, and whoever can capture something first is the winner. Now, the trick of this is you actually can't pass, so something eventually will get captured. Now, the reason I start with this is because the first thing for you to do as a beginner is train your eyes to see how liberties work. Once you can do that, once you can see captures, you want to immediately move up in board sizes because this is just an introductory exercises and isn't actually the full game. So I think it would be great if we could, maybe you and someone in chat could play a 5x5 game, and then whoever gets captured just resigns, and this will be a great way to introduce how liberties work. And this is
So do I just need to share this link with them?
So what you want to do is, first off, anyone in chat that has an OGS account, I would prefer
Is
beginners.
there a Go beginner out there that
Yeah,
wants to
just
take me on?
post your username in chat, and then what you're going to do is in the top left corner, there's a little hamburger. You're going to search their username, and then when you click on it, there will be a little challenge button, and you'll just challenge them. And in the board settings, just make it 5x5, and you both will agree that this is going to be a capture game. And if 5x5 is grayed out, just
Oh, I didn't hit the challenge button. I did this wrong. But there's somebody. So if they have an account, that already means they're necessarily better than me.
Not necessarily, but this will just be an exercise. It's meant to just be something that you just learn first, and then once you understand it, you pretty much move on and start playing games.
It won't let me choose extreme sizes. 5x5.
You have to uncheck the ranked box.
Ah.
Yeah, because you can't play ranked on 5x5.
Dang, I really wanted to. All right. Challenge sent. I don't know what the time control was.
All right. Once you start the game, copy paste the URL and just send it to me in the Discord. And on OGS, the URL is its own unique board.
Started.
All right. So now I just need the URL so I can watch.
Okay. I'm not 100% sure where the game is though. Would you like to enable them? While you're using OGS, you can enable desktop notifications.
Oh, this is you clicked on his profile, so you need to send him a challenge.
Boom. Okay, here it is. So did I send you the right link?
No, you sent me his profile.
Okay, so here's.
Oh, actually, no. There's an active game. I can just click on that. There we go.
Okay. Got the link there just in case. So it's my turn. Hooray! Hooray! Is it about the center? I don't know. Chess is about the center. I'm gonna play in the center.
All right.
And now my opponent only has 3 days to come to a conclusion.
Yeah, we're not worried about the time settings right now. Did you? You might have to. It's not showing up. So, is there a submit move button?
Ooh, submit move. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, I gotta figure out this site. Oh, so I can.
That's only with correspondence. It has to do with your user personal settings or whatever. I mean, mine are turned off by default, so I forgot to mention it. But
gotcha.
We can. That's just stuff to worry about in the future. For correspondence, you just have a submit move button.
Ah, we gotta move. All right. So many decisions to make here. Boom. Random move. Gonna keep it similar to my chess style. You don't know what to do. Random moves.
Random moves.
Confidently. Hopefully confidence. All right. So opponent is slowly trying to surround. How can I surround something though? Is it time to cut on B2? Is it time to just make any other random legal move? Who knows? I put on B2. Maybe I'll get captured. You never know. Random move. Submit. Sorry. Hopefully chat tells me every single move to submit. Otherwise I never will. But we're off to the races here. First Go game ever. Very excited.
Oh, I love your picture. That is great.
Oh, this thing weak.
I like how you learned how to make sure that your profile picture is a chicken before you learned how to even make a game. It's more important.
That comes second.
Priorities.
Okay. So I don't feel like I can necessarily surround this thing on E3. Because either way I go, he's going to do something. Then, so a calculation would be handy. Not going to be easy to do. I can calculate E4. He plays E2. End of calculation. That's just where it ends. I'm gonna try it though. I'm gonna try it. I want to play here.
For the Go players in
Forcing-
chat, calculation is the same meaning as reading, and for the chess players,
I'm reading right now. Sorry.
in chess plays it's reading.
Sorry, I got my book out. I'm reading.
Reading ahead, reading the moves. It's no big deal. I just wanted to make sure that my chat understood what you were saying.
Yeah, I'm gonna use slightly different lingo. I have a feeling. So you can translate. Okay. So I play D2. I'm threatening. Wait, do I win? I'm gonna play here. And I'm threatening E1. So I think they have to play E1, but then I play D1. And then aren't all these white things trapped? Boom. Wait, but E1. I actually don't know the rule here. So I'm going to play E1. And then we're simultaneously both trapped, but I played the move. So hopefully I take the stuff and I win. Boom. I did it.
Yes, that is correct. Your opponent's liberties are always counted first. So you can only play that, which we're actually going to get into next. You can only play a move like that when you capture something.
Sweet. That actually made sense to me. I did it. I win.
So you actually figured out how to play inside of an eye, which we'll go over in a minute. All just naturally trying to play. Oh, he's supposed to resign. He didn't resign.
Yeah, resign, buddy. It was first to a capture.
He's supposed to resign.
I'm gonna take more stuff though, just to humiliate you.
Just take all the stuff on the board. He's supposed to resign since he got captured. It's supposed to be a mutual agreement because it's a minigame. No, you can't pass.
Yeah.
You can't pass. It's against the
rules.
rules.
No passing. But you're a fool to pass. All right. I can resign, but I don't want to. I don't want to resign. You resign.
It's just a
Black wins.
Yes, I win.
Congratulations.
Yes.
That was actually really funny.
Yes. All right.
All right, so I'm gonna click.
I think I'm ready.
I'm gonna click review this game, and so it'll pop up in chat, and you can just click that link.
Review. Click this review.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, and now I can review. All right, so you played, he played, you played, and yeah, so
playing in the middle. Did I play the right first move?
So in Capture Go, the furthest away from the edge you can get is better because it gives you the most space to run away. So yeah, the center of the board is the best move in Capture Go. It is completely not the case in Territory Go on a 19 by 19. But that's very arguable because a lot of people love it, and I'm gonna get flamed in chat because it's a big troll move. It's not technically supposed to be the best move. But it's arguable. It's like a troll move.
Do you know objectively, is this winning for black or it's a draw? Or I don't know what you call
on
it.
a 5x5 and Capture Go or Territory Go, if you play the center of the board, black wins. Black should win it playing perfectly, like every time.
Okay, so my opponent didn't have a chance.
No, not technically speaking. But for the whole point is for beginners to learn how. Yeah, for beginners, it's to learn how Capture Go works. So this is actually very easy to do with a pen and paper. You just make a 5x5 grid, and then you draw like an empty circle for white and a filled-in circle for black. And you can actually play this with friends and family, and that's why I introduced it this way. It's a very great way to learn how liberties work. But once you learn how it works, you kind of want to go ahead and move on to the rest of the rules. And I just wanted to show you this cool exercise. Going over the game, though, yeah, he was trying to surround you, and you played pretty much perfectly. And captured them very quickly. The other option is to go here. And the reason is, even though it's not directly connected, if your opponent tries to play right here to cut you off, you have 2, and your opponent also has 2, but it's your turn, right?
So does E3 win?
E3 would win, but the better habit is to push them towards the edge, because that's where they run out.
Okay.
That's where they run out of the liberties.
Pretty easy to round them. Yeah.
And it's very easy to capture. So he wouldn't be able to do that. So he'd be just go here, and then you would just surround him, and then he'd be kind of in trouble. There is a way to maybe make a tie, but there's no tie in Capture Go. Let me explain what I mean though. If you play like this, and you both just play, you can see that black actually can't play inside of here because white will just capture, whether here or here. But
how many remaining squares there are, and if you can wait.
Yeah, but if you simply, if white keeps playing, because remember passing's not allowed, so white has to keep playing, and either white will go inside, which you will capture that, or white will have to fill in, and then you can capture. So that's
I'm gonna get distracted by and have a bunch of tangents. But in the long, they give you the pass option. Like in longer games, how many times can you pass? How does that work?
okay. So first off, this is just a mini game, so passing's not allowed. But on a 19x19,
Right.
when you pass and your opponent pass consecutively, the game's done and scored as is. So you don't want to pass until the end of the game. So you can pass as many times as you want, but as soon as your opponent passes as well, you're done. There is no I mean, unless you want to undo or whatever.
I'm trying to think of how that would mess up chess. That's interesting.
But yeah, if you passed and your opponent passed, the game is scored as is. Yeah. That's technically the rules. But in Capture Go, passing is not a thing. It's because it would cause all sorts of ties, and the whole point is just to teach you how captures work. All right, but now that we've done that, now that we understand how captures work, and hopefully everyone understands that, do you have any questions about how captures work?
So yeah, it seems the logic is easy, but you're about to make this board a little bigger.
Yeah, it's about to get a little bit bigger. All right, so now we're gonna go to a 9x9 board and create a demo.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you a link to this.
Sweet.
All right, so now we're going to get into a little bit of the strategy. So with the strategy, there's twofold of strategy. One is where do you start, and the second is how do you know if something is alive or dead. That's the two kind of confusing parts in Go. But where to start is much easier in theory than the how is something dead. So we're just going to start with that. So where to start? First off, are you in it?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, so first off, these dots actually have no relevance to the game. They're only there to help your eyes see the board and what line you're on, because without them, you might make a mistake or blur the lines together or whatever. So the dots are merely to help your eyes see the lines and see the grid, but it has no impact on the game.
Where my first move should be?
Do what?
These are not big hints as to where my first move should be.
You can use them as big hints, but technically speaking, they have no relevance to the game. Gotcha. So where to play? So first off, we have to remember that the goal of the game is to surround area, surround territory. So something like this is not recommended because this is not technically surrounding anything. So the first line of the board, on any side of the board, it doesn't matter. The first line of the board is considered kind of like the deadline. The reason is one, it's not surrounding anything, and two, it actually only has 3 liberties, where any line above it would have 4 liberties. So it's considered like a deadline. So the next option is to go on the second line. The second line is considered the losing line in the opening. Now, again, this is just opening theory. The second line is considered the losing line because you're only getting 1 point at a time. So the second line is considered just really, really slow and is only really used in the opening for...
Lose by force, or is it just a bad move and that's why it's called losing line?
It's called losing line because your opponent's going to get more than you. So you're just going to lose. It's not like you'll die or anything, but you're going to lose. In theory, this is again just opening theory. So the third line is actually considered very nice for making territory. And it's also, as you'll learn as you get stronger, a very safe line to be on in the opening because you can make very nice very easy life positions, which we haven't got into yet, but just know that the third line is considered the territorial line and also the safe line. So if you want safety and stuff,
right there in the middle of the third line.
No, well, no.
Bet, or do you also want to...
I haven't. So the first thing is to understand the lines. Yeah, not quite there yet, but the first thing is to understand the lines. We're talking when I say the third line, I mean the third line anywhere on the board. So just when I say when I say third line, I mean third from the closest edge. And then the
rank or the column.
Yeah. So the fourth line is considered the line of influence or development. So fourth line is great for growing a position or developing a position or building out towards the center. So a good sort of shape that you might see is a third line going up to the fourth line to develop and a fourth line going down to the third line to secure it. So this would be sort of a territorial framework sort of sense where you would be controlling a side of the board.
Are there names for these kinds of structures?
There's names for shapes. Like this one is considered a knight's move because of chess.
An X move, like the letter X?
No, a knight's move, like in chess.
A knight's move. Okay.
Because it goes. I
understand how knights move.
1, 2, 3, and there you go.
Gotcha.
So
I know about the L's, yeah.
Yeah. So those are actually considered knight's moves.
Knight moves. A lot of night moves coming.
Yeah, nice moves. So that's actually thing and go, as we actually have a term named after a chess movement piece. So when we open, we
And I think
actually.
somebody in my chat actually was joking, but sorry if I interrupt you too many
No,
times.
you're good.
Are there gambits in Go?
Uh,
I'm
what
actually kind of
what is a
curious.
gambit in chess?
Like you intentionally give up a stone, but it's because you're going to get like more territory somewhere else
Oh
somehow,
yeah,
or
those
is
are
it?
called tasuji. Tasuji are tactical plays to give you an advantage in a local position. So they're like tactical plays, like tactical sacrifices and stuff like that. So yeah, we do have tactical plays. Those are called
All right, can't wait
tasujis.
till we get there.
Um,
That's what I'm interested
I don't know. I don't know if you'll get there though, because that's more of like advanced or it starts getting into advanced tactics, and we're just like talking how to make points, not how to sacrifice stuff yet. Uh,
in. I'm ready to stack.
uh,
People know how I play chess.
People don't. So if we play a game and a Tsuji comes up, I will definitely show you just to make you happy.
Sweet.
All right. So now that we know what lines that we're supposed to sort of be on in the opening, we can actually start working with that. And the way we think of the most efficient way to do it is to actually work with the edges. So because the edges actually help us surround stuff much more quickly, and the reason is if we put a position right here, this is actually 4 points, but it only takes 4 moves to get those 4 points. And now let's put it on the side. This is still 4 points of territory, but it takes 6 moves. And now we do the same thing in the center, anywhere in the center. Still 4 points, but it takes 8 moves to get it. So with this example, we know that working with the edges, in theory, is much more efficient or faster at getting territory. So now that we know those two concepts, first the concept of the lines, and concept is corner is bigger than side, side is bigger than the center. Now we have our opening theories. So now we actually can find this point, because this is 1, 2, 3 from that side, so it's a third line on that side, and 1, 2, 3 from that side, so it's actually a 3-3 point, which is a very good opening move. Then there's the 4-4 point, which is the sort of an influential opening move, so that's on the fourth line and fourth line for both sides. And then there's the 3-4 right here, and the 3-4 right here. So you can say these 4 points in any of the corners, of course, in any of the corners, are where you're going to start your moves, where your moves are going to start. Because we just we combined both of those theories, that corner, side, center, and third line and fourth line for the opening, and that arrives us at these opening moves. So a game might look something like this, and then now that you have the open corners filled, you start expanding along the sides, and we start push. And this is where we get into the middle game, where we start pushing the borders and start trying to break in and try to find an opening, and maybe we'll even go to the second line to try to slide under, and then we'll start seeing pushes and blocks, and we're just fighting for the borders, right?
This is gonna be hard.
And that is how you play. That's how you pretty much play and try to make territory and make more than your opponent. And so that's
And then
the.
it like would never make sense, I guess, to like ever. I guess you can't see where I'm like aiming things, but to put anything like ever back here, like how far? Like I would never want to go. I'm sorry if it's messing everything up. But, like I'd never want to go back here at all.
I can't see what you're doing unless you click the share button. You have to name a variation and click share.
All right, I'll use coordinates. So actually, I messed this up. How do I delete what I've done?
There should be a resync button above the move branches. There should be a resync button.
Well, like so, there never makes sense for black to put anything like on the from the A to C.
Ah,
I'm gonna call them.
that gets into our second topic. What if I go inside of here? Right. So here,
that's what I was wondering. Does that ever make any sense? Like,
oh yeah, it definitely makes sense. It's a very smart idea. If your opponent has more than you should go in and try to destroy it. So here, now we know how to start and how to move to, or sort of how to start and how to move to build positions, right? And that is how we make territory. That's how we play big moves. But we haven't talked about attack and defense yet. And this is where we get into the most complicated part of Go. How do we deal with attack and defense? How do we deal with a stone going on the inside? So normally, I actually encourage beginners to simply play it out, and then just, if their opponent goes on the inside, just try to capture it, and I let them play a few games to get comfortable before moving on to this next topic, because it's a little complicated and a little much to throw at a beginner, but since we're doing this collaboration stream and we only have this one chance, I'm going to go over it now. Just know that normally I would encourage play a few games, get comfortable with the idea, and then move on to this topic after you've already played a couple games and understand how territory works and what would be considered invasions and stuff. But with that being said, let's move on to our attack and defense topic. All right, so remember how you had that move that you weren't sure if you could play it or not because you thought it would capture you?
Yeah.
Well, does this look familiar? If white plays inside of here, it looks like, hey, I'm going to get captured. It's pretty much the same idea, right? So that is because when you go inside, you have 0 liberties. That is actually a move considered suicide. So suicide is not a legal move. Kind of like a king can't walk in front of another king in chess. You cannot do that. You cannot suicide a move.
White cannot play J9.
Right. The exception to that.
Can black legally do it? I get that it's dumb.
Yeah, black can definitely do it because black is connected and has liberties on the outside. But the exception to this is if you are capturing something, it is not an illegal move. Because when you capture something, now you do have liberties because something was removed from the board. So that sort of shape right there is considered an I. An I is a move that it is an illegal move for your opponent to play. So like that's an I. An illegal move for your opponent to play unless they are capturing something. Right? So now we know that this shape...
They're just little safe havens that they're probably not going to get because surrounding you would be nearly impossible.
Yeah. Well, not nearly impossible, but actually very common for attack and defense. Like, for example, in your question, what if you would invade it? How do you make that live? And that's what gets into this. So we can see here, one eye can actually be captured. But what if we change that to 2 eyes? And now what can we do? Now, if white plays here, white gets captured, right? So it's an illegal move. If white plays here, white gets captured. So it's an illegal move. It's an illegal move. We cannot reduce this to 1 liberty. So we have 2 liberties that white can never play. So it is impossible for white to capture this group unless black, of course, fills his own liberty. Unless black fills his own liberty, it's impossible to capture this group. So this group is considered a living group because it has 2 eyes. Does that make sense?
Wow. Yeah, 2 eyes. That's the secret. Got
Yep.
it.
So when you play an invasion, you're actually trying to make 2 eyes, which takes us into life and death. So our basic life and death shapes is actually going to be these sort of 3 shapes, like this one, because let's say black plays. Black will play right here and make 2 eyes. Easy, right? Complete life. But what if black ignores and white plays right here? This is not an illegal move because white has 2 liberties, right? And now black can't actually respond because black will take his own liberty and white will capture, or black goes here and white will capture. So black actually can't respond. So let's say black plays somewhere else. And white says, okay, I'm going to take your liberty, and now black is an Atari, but white is also an Atari, so black captures. And then white says, okay, but I can still play him. Black says, okay, then I capture. And now what do you notice?
Now white can play H9.
Yep.
Boom.
So,
nice.
So we consider some shapes to be 1 or 2 eyes, even if it's more than 1 liberty. So the example of that is that's 1 liberty and 1 eye. 2 in a row is also considered 1 eye because white can play inside, and then black plays, and it's 1 eye. So 2 in a row is 1 eye, 1 in a row is 1 eye, but 3 in a row is actually whoever plays first. So it's alive if black plays, it's dead if white plays.
Huh.
And then an interesting thing is 4 in a row is alive as it stands. If I can place these stones right.
What does that mean?
It means that if white plays first and then black plays, it's still 2 eyes. Because that's 2 in a row, which is 1 eye, and 1, which is 1 eye. So it's still 2 eyes no matter what. So that's if white plays this one right here. And if white plays this one, it's the same thing. 2 eyes. So no matter what white plays, it has 2 eyes as long as you respond. So 4 in a row is actually considered 2 eyes as it stands, because white cannot play 2 moves in a row.
Huh.
So,
It's crazy.
whenever you play, like in our example, if I can get back to it, whenever you play, where did it go? I'll just play it out again. Whenever you play a game like this, here we go, and you try to invade your opponent, what your goal is trying to do is, if you're trying to survive, you're actually trying to surround more space on the inside to get enough space to make 2 eyes. And if you're trying to attack, then you're actually trying to prevent that space and trap them against the edge. So like maybe I would play right here, and you're trying to expand the space and expand the space and then go down, and I'm just trying to reduce the space and reduce it down to 1 eye, and then I could kill your group, or your group would be considered dead as it stands because it only has 1 eye and cannot escape and cannot capture anything unless something happens, right? So when you're playing these sort of invasion moves, when you're trying to go inside your opponent's area, which I encourage you to try to do until you learn what works and what doesn't, when you play these sort of moves, the goal is to try and surround enough space that you can make a 2-eye shape. And anything like 3 in a row or greater is the shapes you're trying to aim for. Does that kind of make sense?
Okay. Yeah. It's going to require some testing.
Oh, yes. Life and death. Like, life and death is the most complicated topic in Go and has very, very insane difficult problems that go all the way to pro level of if you can kill something or not in certain shapes and scenarios. There are common patterns and common shapes that you can learn, but just know that it's not the most easy thing, but it's a lot of fun to try and see if you can make an invasion work or not. And then it just goes into calculating or reading if you can kill something or not. And that is why we do not play on the 5th line. If we're trying to make points, let's say I'm going to make 5th line territory. Well, actually, it becomes very easy for your opponent to go in on the 3rd line. And remember how I said it's the secure line? Well, 3rd line is very, very great for surrounding some space and making enough space for 2 eyes. So if you can get on the 3rd line and keep going on the 3rd line, that's a great way to make life. But eventually, maybe your opponent will reduce it. You'll have to block and blah blah blah. But that, like, maybe that's a life because it has a lot of space. All right. So that's all the rules of Go. It will take, of course, some practice and stuff. And yeah, I highly encourage to try. And if you want to try with someone in chat, I can let you play your first game, and we can go over
Chili
it.
Mo, are you out there? There was somebody, he was making an account. I don't think Chili Mo has ever played Go before either. So if we want to see the worst of the worst, it's me and Chili Mo.
I mean, I was just playing pretty bad chess earlier, so.
Chili, you understand the rules? I also don't see you. Did you make your name something different? I don't see a Chili Mo on this site. But yeah, I challenge Chili Mo to a game of Go. Just gotta let me know what your name is on this site. There's a chili bing bong. A lot of chilies on this site. Okay, I thought you were already making one. That's why I called him out. He was asking about what site this was and everything. Yeah, what's the most aggressive gambit though? I think that's what I'm up to. Is there an octuple Muzio gambit that I could be playing?
I know some on the 19x19, but small board is just make it as big as you can. So I would say maybe some 4/4s and stuff if you want to be super aggressive. If you want to go that route, I mean that's pretty influential. Creates a lot of interesting fights. Kind of forces them to invade because you're out in the center and in the face.
Also, I guess a better question maybe is I need like the scholar's mate of Go because I'm playing this guy. He doesn't know anything. So like, just give me some cheapo. I need a cheapo tactic, and I'm gonna crush Chili.
Make territory.
Where's the 4-move checkmate?
The 4-move checkmate.
How do I win quick and dirty?
Play on the 4th line and push his borders as fast as possible. You have an advantage as black, so. Let me go. So while he's making an account, let me go over a couple more things. First off is Comey. Comey is actually bonus points given to white because black has an advantage, especially on the small boards. Black has a much bigger advantage, but bonus points for white is actually 6.5 points. So white will actually get 6 bonus points at the end, and it's a half a point to prevent ties. So tying in Go is actually almost impossible. Like it's impossible 99% of the time. In very, very rare instances is it possible, which we'll get into if it comes up, which is not a tie possible, but a repeating position possible. And we'll get into that, and that'll be the co-rule, but I don't want to get into that. I just want to get you playing a game. But just know that tying a go is very, very, very hard and almost impossible. Like, I haven't done it in 13 years. I haven't tied a game.
Neither of us know how to play, so we're not going to tie. I just want to be aggressive and crush this guy.
Yep. I would say stick to the fourth line, develop quickly, and then push his borders. And if he invades, kill him. If he invades it, you got to kill
Come for
it.
your fourth line. Time to book up. All right, let's see. He says he's made an account. Let me see if he's on here. There he is. Boom. Chili Mo. Challenge. So I need to ranked, rated game. Okay, Chili. We're not messing around. This is a rated game. We need to make it faster. 3 days. Come on. Ridiculous.
Yeah, you want to use Yo-Yomi time setting.
So rules, not Japanese. Where's it? Speed.
You want to use Japanese rules.
Japanese rules. Okay, we're both blitz players.
You're gonna blitz? Oh man.
Come on, I don't need 30 seconds to think. It's a lot of time, right?
You chess blitzers.
What's the best time control here? Oh, Fisher? That sounds like chess. But I want it to be what? Boyoyomi?
Yo-Yomi is the common time setting, yes. I mean, you can use chess time if you really want to. But
we're pro Go players around here. Hey Corvac, how's it going?
You can do 10 seconds if you want to blitz. If you want
rated, let's go.
Yeah, if you want to blitz, you can do 5 minutes.
Do I need to send you this link then?
Yeah.
So here's the link for you. I guess he got lucky. He got the black pieces.
But you get the bonus points.
Yes, bonus points. I'm up bonus points. Ooh, third line. Okay, it's normal. That's normal. But I'm a fourth line kind of guy. You know, I'm just taking a glance around. So many different ways to crush this guy.
Are you hitting this? Is there a submit move for you?
No, I guess it just moves.
Awesome.
Which is good.
Because it's live, so.
Oh, so I'm down to 15.
That's main time.
I thought.
Well,
I thought my time.
You're in main time. No, you're in main time, not overtime yet. You put 1 minute main, or it looks like you put 1 minute main time, and then you have overtime. Let me look at the game information. It didn't show me the time setting. Oh, there. You put 30 seconds main time with 5-second periods.
Well, he's coming in my zone.
You gotta kill him. Remember, life and death. Push him to the edge.
All right, I cut him off. So I guess we just gotta play it insanely fast. I didn't mean to.
No, you don't. You don't have to play it insanely fast.
I don't. I feel a lot of pressure.
Yeah, that's because you put it a 5 seconds Yo-Yomi time. 5 seconds overtime.
I don't know what I did, to be honest, but this was a mistake. I don't know what I did. Do I have to just move insanely fast? Is somebody gonna flag? What's happening here?
This is very entertaining.
We're cutting him here though. We're cutting him here. Oh, we got him. We got him. Unless this was a Tsugi. Maybe he's gonna somehow benefit in some other way. Maybe Chili's got it figured out.
Are you doing great?
I'm just going for this one. Boop! 2 of them. A 2 for bloop. Oh, this is some important decision here. I don't know what to do though. There's eyes. There's like eyes. How many eyes are there? Oh, I don't know. I don't think I want to. Oh, hey, boop! Whoa! Got him! Got him! Big blunder. Big blunder, Chili. I'm great.
Wow.
I'm pretty good at this. I might be losing something here, but you haven't got anything yet. Oh, I lost something. Maybe you won't see it. All right. So I need to. I don't know if I need to, but I'm gonna try to save this guy if it's worth it. Boop. So, have I surrounded you yet? It feels like somebody surrounded here. Look at all this stuff. Eventually, I'm gonna get you. That's all trapped in there. I don't know. I honestly don't understand the clock either, so I might just flag. Oh, boop. Boop. This is a blast. All right, we'll just take the one.
Oh man, this is entertaining.
Crushing them. I want to let my time run out because then I can let my time run out how many times?
5. You have 5 periods at the on the right. And that's in parentheses. You see the 5. That's the amount of periods we have.
All right, I'm gonna run out of time just to give you a chance here, Chili. Wow, that was interesting. All right, we're getting into some Zug Swing situations here. Oh, he's got 2 eyes. Wow, very good. Good job, Chili. Look at all these eyes.
I don't know if you remember, but
I can just go here.
Since it's not capture go.
Error move number. It wouldn't let me move there. It must be illegal. I can't play G2. It's illegal.
Yeah, that's an eye. It's you.
Still
You
can't
guys
go.
can pass, you know.
No, we don't know.
Oh no!
But I win. Dude, Chili. Chili.
Oh no! Chili forgot he could pass.
Chili. Okay, but it's the number of total captures that at the end will matter. Yeah, I'm crushing this guy. I don't know how to do this, but I'm crushing him. That's all I know.
Oh man!
Just set up a little. All right, you're surrounded now, buddy. Boop, Chili. All right, we'll take them. We'll just take them all. Is there some better? How's my technique? Should I be able to wrap this up?
You can pass at any time and you've won.
If I pass, I win?
Pass.
Yeah. He has the, what does he do?
Pass.
Oh, and he's just in, so much trouble?
He has to pass eventually.
Pass.
But I have to, sit here and just fill up this whole board.
Pass.
No, because it'll count for you.
Pass.
I literally just pass every single turn?
Pass. Pass.
Yeah, he'll run out of move. Now he has to pass. He has no moves.
There's no moves. Wow. Look at that. Wish I could highlight all these squares.
You killed the whole board.
Wow.
You killed the whole board. And so on the top right, you can actually see the win rate graph. So you had the whole game.
It looks beautiful. I love that graph.
That was.
Did I blundered at some point, or how bad? I can't really tell how high is good or bad. Or
you actually did really well.
Point, was Chili winning?
He was winning at some points, but you were winning most of the game.
Yeah, crushed him.
Review started.
So let's go ahead and review. That was so entertaining to watch.
So yeah.
All right.
Is there something there for you to actually review so you can give me some hints?
Yeah. Join the review.
Okay. Join the review. 1 second. Oh gosh, my mouse decided to freak out. Okay. So, would you say that was flawless, perfect, or
that was great?
Great. Okay.
We'll just say great.
I'll take.
Are you in the review?
I think I'm here.
Did you click the review? Doesn't say you're in here.
It doesn't say I'm in here. Okay.
Do you see on chat how it says Clossius review number blah blah blah? Where did you? Are you still on the same page? I'll just send you the link to the game. I don't know where you went.
Okay. Yeah. If you just...
I don't.
Okay. Wait. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm here now.
Oh, you?
Okay.
Okay, you're
I
here.
found it.
Yeah, I see you. Okay. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about how you've won. How do you have enough points? Let's talk about how it's scored. So remember, anything surrounded by a single color is your points. So pretty much all the moves are your points. Now, what the computer does is the computer kind of knows what stones are dead and what stones aren't. So any stone that will eventually be captured is considered dead stones, and those are automatically removed and counting. But if you were doing it in person, you would just take them off the board manually. But you sort of agree that both of these groups will eventually be captured. They do not have 2 eyes. They will get captured. So you remove them from the board, and then you take all the dead stones and fill up your opponent's area. So in this case, he had negative however many moves he played, right? So he had 6 captures of yours. So you would have the entire board that you're surrounding minus 6 points because he had 6 captures. He has 0 points and then 73 captures, so he had negative 73 points. So you won by like a lot.
Yeah, I felt that way. Okay,
so-
I didn't understand the passing until you eventually explained it to me. That was a good option.
Yeah, if you pass, as long as like nothing stupid happens, the stones will still be dead, even if you capture them or don't capture them. They're considered dead as they stand because they don't have 2 eyes. But once you can't really make any more points or take any more points, you would both pass and then score the board, remove the dead stones and score the board, and that's Japanese rules. So let's say you wanted to play this like in person. Let's say you were playing a friend in real life.
Sure.
I do recommend changing the counting just slightly. I recommend it for beginners because it's just easier to count this way. Once you remove all the dead stones, instead of trying to keep track of all the dead stones, or if you're unsure if something's dead or not, go ahead and play it out on the board and then capture all the stones. And then at the end, you'll just count the area surrounded by 1 color and then add that to the amount of stones you have left on the board. And that's the same score. It's a different rule set, but it's the exact same score. And I do the for the beginner rule set, basically, as what I call it. But it's basically like it's modified Chinese rules, but the Chinese rules don't keep track of captures. They count the area on the board plus the stones on the board, and Japanese counts the area on the board, but use the captures to fill in your opponent's area. They're the exact same score. At very rare cases, it'll be a difference of 1 point or whatever, but it's pretty much the exact same thing. It's just easier for a beginner to play out a variation, where in Japanese, if you fill in your own area, you lose points. But if in the Chinese rules or beginner rules, filling in your own area doesn't lose you points because stones are points as well. So when you play in person, I recommend playing it out and just capturing them. But when you're playing online using the Japanese rules, playing it out, if they're already dead, will lose you points. It's better to just pass. Does that make sense, or do I need to elaborate on that?
Yeah, that does. It makes sense. I still need to, practice a little bit more for it to.
Yeah.
But it does
But hopefully how the computer just does it automatically for you, so you can just kind of rely on that for a bit until you understand more. But I just wanted to explain to you how it's arriving at those numbers. But yeah, just passing lets the computer handle it, and you don't have to worry about it. All right, so let's go in. You played on the 4th line, which is very powerful. So he's kind of surrounding this. You're pretty much saying, I'm going to get this. So you're like in his face. So he kind of has to like start invading you. So you're kind of playing right here. Another option is just to go along the edge to surround more of the edge and start reducing his. You could also try to push his...
I'm so like chess centric that I think of like the center.
Yeah. So go is more corners and edges. So it's just a little bit different. But in the center, it's not like you can't be in the center, but in the center you want to try to push these borders, right? And like push in, and he'll try to push in or whatever. Or you block these sort of pushing the borders. That's sort of how you play in the middle until you do what he did, which is invade. Which his invasion wasn't a bad idea because white has more than black, so black should invade white and destroy it, right? So this becomes
immediately. So this actually was a great move by Chile.
It was a really good move. I mean, neither one of you are probably going to play the most perfect move, but I think for your level, it was a really good move. I think it was a really cool idea.
Yeah, good job, Chile.
So this was really good because he understands that white is getting more than him, so he's going to go in and destroy your points. So you have 2 options. One, you can counter invade somehow, like here, or try to break in here or something, and take advantage of the liberties.
Sounds good. I like the sound of that one.
Or you can try to kill this stone, or surround it, push it, force life, and see if this stone will live or die. And that's option 2. So I recommend if they invade you, go ahead and just start surrounding them, because if they die, you kind of get more points than you would have had if they didn't invade. And if they live, they'll do it in what's called gote. So in Go, we have sente and gote. Sente means forcing. Gote means you lose the initiative. So if he lives, it should be gote, which means you'll have the first move to play somewhere else. So you can kind of attack for free. You attack...
so there'll be some long string of moves, and then at the end of it,
you should have sente at the end of it, which means you have the initiative. So you can either take the initiative now, or you can attack first, which is what I recommend, and then take the initiative later because you kind of get free stuff. So you went here. This is kind of fine, but you could also push just a little bit more because this certain shape is called a tiger's mouth. Because if you play,
tiger's mouth.
Yeah, if you play inside, you get eaten. So it's
Wow.
considered connected until you lose liberties. So he has to. So you can kind of like push the line one further. So if like you play here and he blocks, versus you play here and he blocks, it's like one line further down. So it's just a little bit better for you if you want to do your plan. But I would recommend playing something like this and attacking him. Push him to the edge.
I definitely want to play again, but with like a time control where I can think a little bit more.
Yeah, so 5 seconds is normally not what we do. Normally we play with 30 seconds, and you're like, I'm gonna blitz, and it's like, okay, good luck.
And I thought I got 30 seconds per move, but it was 30 seconds for like the whole thing.
No. You put 30 seconds on the main time. So
yeah.
So you had 30 seconds on your main clock, but your overtime was 5 seconds. So you're supposed to do 5 minutes on your main time and 30 seconds on your overtime, and that would have been a lot more realistic and easier to handle. Yeah. You're like, screw this, I'm blitzing. We're gonna play Bullet Go. Bullet Go.
Oh, what happened to my rating? That was a rating game.
You have to play like several games to get a ranked game or get a rank. But the problem is he didn't have a rank either, so it has no idea what to do with that game. Yeah. Like you didn't have a rank, he didn't have a rank. It's like, okay, well now I have no data. So the rating system didn't really matter. It'll matter when both of you get a rank. This game will affect it, but right now this game does not affect your rank. It won't affect your rank.
The rating system.
The rating system, yeah. So let's go over that. So
I don't know if it's the right time. We can talk about it.
Yeah, it's fine. I just have to switch gears just a little bit.
Sorry,
so
I just got a lot of questions racing through my mind.
Oh, you're good. I love questions. It gives me something to talk about. Okay, so the rating system. So the rating system is basically we use the Japanese rating system because it sort of like became a profession in Japan first. So China had it, and then Japan kind of like made it a really big sport. And then it kind of spread over the world and stuff. So Asia, China, Japan are the 3 big countries, and the rest of the world is kind of like playing catch up, I guess. But the rating system takes after the Japanese Dan system. I don't know if you know that, but basically 1 Dan or first level Dan is considered basically like a black belt. So 1 Dan is like black belt. And yesterday or like a couple days ago, when I did my other stream, did the other collaboration stream, someone told me that 1 Dan in Go, 1 Dan amateur in Go, is considered about 2,000 to 2,200 in chess. So that way you understand what a 1 Dan is. That is what a 1 Dan is. That's about my level. Is about 2,000 to 2,200 chess. That's where I am. That's what it was explained to me. So that's 1 Dan. It's first level black belt. Then you can go up to 9 Dan amateur, which is a 9th level black belt. All right, and then there's an exam or a tournament where all the 9 Dans compete against each other, and the winners become professional players, and they're professional Dan. So it's 1 Dan to 9 Dan amateur, and then 1 Dan to 9 Dan pro, which is called 1P to 9P. And those are professionals that won a competition between them and all the other top amateurs in the country to become a professional. So in Asia, the professionals are insanely strong, but in the West, professionals have only just recently, in the last 10 years, been a thing because Go is still like growing in the West. So we actually had our first professional exam. I don't know what years was it, like 2012 or something like that. I forget the exact year, but it was really recent. That was our first professional exam when we got our first professional homegrown, like in America.
Cool.
And in Europe shortly followed as well. And Europe, I'm not sure actually who came first, Europe or America, but both of them developed a professional system around the same time, and it's really recent. But the Asian countries, like China, Japan, Korea, they've had professionals for like hundreds of years. So they've had a lot of time to do that. But for amateurs, what we're worried about is 1 Dan to 9 Dan amateur black belt. But then you have the Q players. Q is KYU, Q. And that basically means stone.
Like more my level. What's that all about? People are telling me in chat about it.
Yeah. Q basically means like stone or rank. So 1Q is 1 rank below 1 Dan. So 1 Dan's like the threshold for the amateur level, like the black belt basically. So 1Q is 1 level away from 1 Dan. And then it goes all the way down to 30Q, which is 30 levels below 1 Dan. So you're probably like 30Q to like 25Q, which on the OGS.
Wow, they already jumped up.
Yeah, well,
Wow,
OGS.
what a big jump.
Yeah,
From the bottom
OGS.
all the way up to 25.
OGS, the minimum rank is 25Q because you move up so fast. Like you learn one thing, you rank up in the 20Q, and like from 30Q, you know the rules of go. You learn how Atari works, you're 29Q. You learn how territory works, you're 28Q. You learn how to push something to the edge, you're 27Q. Like it's as soon as you learn one thing in the 20Qs, you move up. But
Okay.
like basically, you
It's very similar in chess too, where
yeah.
you start at 100 and then
you learn one thing and you work up. Yeah.
You learn like one little thing, yeah. And you just
So
start
it goes up to like 25Q and then it starts slowing down just a little bit, but you can still improve pretty rapidly, just not with one topic you rank up. It's not that easy. So that's why OGS the minimum is 25Q. So technically on OGS you guys are likely 25Q right now. And then once you get used to it, you'll move up. So that's how ranks work. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So what you want to do, what I recommend is beginners learning the game is first play Capture Go until you can see liberties. If you can't see liberties, territory goes pointless because you're just gonna get captured everywhere and nothing will happen for you territory wise because they'll just walk in your points because you'll just Atari and miss Ataris and they'll just destroy you. So if you can't see Ataris, you can't really play Territory Go, which is sort of the entry barrier. That's why I recommend Capture Go as the mini game. But once you can do that, I recommend getting on the 9x9 and playing Go and just making points and just fighting it out with your opponent, invade, counter invade, whatever. Just fighting out with your opponent until you understand how life and death works. Once you can solve a life and death problem, I recommend moving up to the 13x13 and kind of chilling out with the invasions and only play invasions that work, and then learn more about how to make areas and what invasions do work, what invasions don't work, and basically how to finish a game. And how to finish borders of territory, and that's what I recommend for the 13x13. Once you can do that, once you can do those two things, you can play a life and death problem out, and you know how it works and understand it. Even the basic life and death problems, that's fine. Just you understand the basics of life and death, and then once you do that, and you understand the basics of the borders of territory and how to make territory, how to push territory borders. Once you understand that, then you move up to the 19x19, and then you get into opening theory and the big theories where we actually teach a lot of stuff. We have a lot of theories and stuff. That's actually what I really focus on is teaching on stream and stuff is like how to play on the 19x19 and teach people like the strategies, the variations, the common variations, stuff like that, how to master their openings and all that stuff. That's what I do on stream, and I have a whole approach for it.
Chad is asking like where like Go tactics like for practice. Is this the best like website or there's like I see they have puzzles and
so for beginners, this is a really great website. You don't really need anything else. There's multiple websites, of course. Like I use a Chinese website for my Go problems, but for beginners, if you just want to just do all your stuff here, you can easily like share your game on stream. Like every single game has a unique URL, so you can easily copy paste your URL like we've been doing and share it on stream if you want to ask a streamer to help teach you. Or if you want to ask people for help in the chat section of the website, you can post your game link, ask for help. You can do it on Discord, ask for help posting your game. And then for your problems, you actually have puzzles. Do you see the top middle? I don't know if you can see it on stream because we've cropped it.
I'm kind of checking it out. It's cut off a little bit on
but for the top of the browser, there is a puzzle section. And there is like the top popular puzzles. There is one that is made by Mark 5000, which is one of the admins. That I think is a great one to start. It's just the exercises for beginners, that one. And then the Cho-Chi-Kun is the top two, basically, on this one. Exercises for beginners first, and then Cho-Chi-Kun's Encyclopedia of Life and Death for elementary. Those are the best problems for learning life and death and how to capture and stuff like that. And then I have an entire playlist for beginners on how to play on the 19x19. So once you're ready for the 19x19, I have a whole playlist. I'm biased, of course, because I created it, but I think it's a really great playlist for teaching you how to play on the 19x19. But feel free to ask me for that, and any advice or questions, just track me down and ask me. But that's just like that's how you start your path in the Go world. That's how you work your way to 19x19, get past that entry barrier, and that's everything pretty much I wanted to share with you guys on stream today. And if you have any questions, ask me. And if you're good, then we can also review this game, and I can show you some more tactics on this game.
Sweet. Yeah, just have time. I'm just gonna run real quick. I'm gonna fill up my water and everything.
Okay.
I'll just take a quick like 1 minute break here.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm totally willing to keep going.
And for those who ever want to track me down, I'm Clossius everywhere. I'm Clossius on OGS. Feel free to message me. I'm Clossius on Twitch. I'm Clossius on YouTube. That's my stuff. That's that's me. I'm Clossius. I have a friend who only plays 9x9. 9x9 is fine if you want to have fun. Like Go like chess or any other game is something you do for fun. If you enjoy 9x9, you don't want to play on the big boards. That's fine. Just have fun. But the official game is on the 19x19, so everyone will encourage you to get to the official size as soon as you can. But I would say don't just dive in. You might drown. Thank you for the follow, Chili Mill. Don't just dive in. You might drown a little bit, and I want to make it as an easy transition as possible for beginners to get to 19x19 without getting like overwhelmed or confused. So anytime you see me on stream or on OGS and you want advice, feel free to ask me. I would be happy to give you a teaching game or review your games or whatever. And yeah, and then if you want to teach me chess, I would love to do this with you as well, so that I could get help with my chess game and I can help you with your Go game. Thank you everyone for the follows. I'm sorry I'm not really paying attention to the chat as much and the follows as much. It's a little bit harder since we're doing a collaboration stream, but thank you everyone who's been following and supporting and everything else.
Alrighty, yeah, I'm ready to review. I'm ready to play anybody. A lot of people have asked to play me.
Awesome.
So I get to play people in a little bit here too.
Awesome. So we'll go through the review kind of quick just to show you some basic tactics, because I don't want to throw too much at you that you can't apply. So I'm a big fan of learning stuff at your level, and instead of trying to say what's the most perfect move and stuff, because Go is like a million moves, so a million possibilities, and I can't even stress, it's like millions of possibilities. So I'm a big fan of learn things at your level and play things at your level. So that's why I said this one is a great move. I mean, for stronger players, it's not the best move, but for this level, it's a great move. It has a good goal.
Good, let them tear you down. It was great.
Yeah, so every single turn, you kind of want to ask yourself, what is your goal? And that's what I was doing in chess. Where am I weak? Where's my opponent weak? Where's a big move? So where are you in danger anywhere? Is your opponent in danger anywhere? Where's a big move? So you're saying your opponent's in danger. So you're saying I'm going to attack it. So you're pushing it to the edge and trying to surround it. I think that's great. And then you play this cut here. This cut, however, I think is a small mistake, because if you cut like this on the second line without putting him into Atari, you see these two Blackstones have 2 liberties, but you also only have 2 liberties. And you're closer to the edge, and it's Black's turn. So Black can actually push you to the edge like this. And then you're trapped and can't go anywhere. Yeah. So normally what I'd recommend is maybe pushing him to the edge like this, or maybe threatening to play that cut. So this is considered a cut tactic, and cuts are super powerful. Really, really fun to play. But normally you don't cut near the edge, you cut in the center. So cuts are moves that disconnect their connection, or disconnect them from being able to connect.
That's what I was trying to do.
Yeah, so cuts are very powerful, but you have to be very, very wary of cuts near the edge. Because if they push you to the edge, your cutting stone just dies, and then they're connected and you're dead. So I would say maybe you can push them to the edge, or maybe you can threaten to cut and then connect back, or something like that would be great. But you talked about Tsujis, and I said if they came up, then you could do it.
Yeah,
so if he captures this, you can actually sacrifice it and then capture this stone. Because this stone, normally you do push it to the edge, and it does work on this case because he's trapped against the edge. And you have 3 liberties, he has 2. So I don't know if I'm playing this out too fast, but basically you push him to the edge, it's good. But here's our first Tsuji shape, kind of. One of the first beginner Tsujis you learn is called a ladder. When you Atari them like this, he's an Atari because he only has 1 liberty, and he runs away. Then you switch the sides, Atari, and then he plays, then you Atari, then he plays, then you Atari, then he plays, and he's trapped.
Nice.
So it runs sort of at a diagonal here, and runs to the edge, and he's trapped. So if they get caught in a ladder, it can be very good for you. It's recommended to push them to the edge if you can, because it's easier. But you wanted a Tsuji. There's your first Tsuji.
Very exciting.
Yeah, but you sacrifice a stone and put the stone in the ladder, and you kill it.
So when they're in the ladder, they shouldn't just keep going, because then I'm going to end up getting a bunch more capitals.
When they're in a ladder, they should just give it up and maybe sacrifice it and then go play some more points, and then Black will win if he plays this way, but that's if he's good. But with that being said, let's say he had stones over here, right? Let's say there was stones over here. Now when he runs away and you try to like get him or whatever, you can see that he just connects out. And also, if you notice, your stones get into Atari. And even if they didn't, even if they didn't, you can see you have so many cutting points that it becomes very problematic. So, just like he shouldn't play a ladder that works, you should not play out a ladder that does not work. So, if someone's playing out a ladder, someone's wrong. Like, if a ladder's being played out, one of you are wrong. It's a trick to figure out which one. But in that case, you could have played out a ladder. This was a nice catch. He connected his cut over here, and you were able to cut off the stone and capture it, which is very nice. You don't have to capture immediately. So this is one thing that one of the first sort of strategic habits you'll need to develop is don't worry about removing stones. If they're dead, they're dead.
I was very excited to get that.
Oh, no, it's like one of the best feelings in the game. Yeah, it's great to remove stones. But it's also a wasted move because he can't escape, so you just basically passed. You can actually start surrounding this one and surround it in the corner. And those are my cats. I don't know if you can hear them rustling in the background. But the exception to that is if you are worried about him doing something back, then you have to capture. Right? So if he can get something on the outside and bring it back to life, then then it's good to remove it. But otherwise, removing it's kind of a wasted move. All right, so here he played this one. Can you find using what we just talked about? Can you figure out what move to play to get this this guy?
Well, so my first instinct is C8.
Okay, and he runs away.
And I guess E9.
Yep, and he's trapped along the edge.
Yeah, and now B9 traps it all.
Yep, that's great. And you've already learned your first tactic, which is if they play something on the second line without connections and without good liberties, you can immediately push them to the edge and maybe trap them. So that's like your first sort of beginner tactic. And here, you again cut. He can trap you. But he blocked, and then you trapped him, so that was very nice. And then you've pretty much won the game from this point. Because if you go right here, these 4 stones actually don't have 2 eyes. So if you take away his base, they're dead. So this would actually be very easy for you to play out. And then if you look at the whole board, you're controlling that much of the board. And he's controlling this much. So that's why the graph was in white's favor. And then from there, you just reduced and blocked. That was very nice. Again, don't cut without support. So you want to block. You don't want to cut until you're putting him into Atari. So if you play like this and he does something else, then you can cut and Atari him to the edge. But if he's not an Atari and you cut, you're going to get an Atari. But then he jumped and you Atari'd him, so that was a good catch. He self-Atari'd. Yeah, and here's where maybe he should have played the capture go, because you have the experience of the capture go and he didn't, and you can see that this is why I said if you can't see liberties, your positions is going to fall apart no matter what you do. It's just going to keep falling apart. You're going to keep getting captured no matter how well you understand territory, no matter how well you understand territory. If you can't hold the line, if you can't keep connected and hold your borders, you're just going to get captured, and they're just going to walk into your territory. And that's what sort of happened this game. So he played very well, but then he started getting captured everywhere, and they kind of fell apart.
Yeah, I got a lot of captures. It was just kind of making it.
But it was also
easy.
like really, really fast. So if you're not trained for the captures, if your eyes aren't trained for the captures, then you don't see it. This is actually a mistake by you because you can see that you're trapped along the edge. So both of these 2 stone groups are gonna get captured.
Lose those.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do there. Now, what I was actually interested to see is if you would play right here, because he goes here, he's alive. But if he makes the mistake of capturing the stone, how many liberties does he have?
Oh, so I can just jump right in there.
Yeah,
jump into E2.
So
the ultimate
this
Tsugi.
is kind of a what you would call a stupid Tsugi, where you're relying on them being a beginner to capture him rather than them playing the
hope chess. I play hope though.
Yeah, it's a hope move that doesn't technically work because he can just capture right here, but if he doesn't know that, you just get him. And I was actually
he would fall for it.
I was actually expecting you to try to do this, and you're like, nope, I'm gonna go fill my eye.
I'm not deep enough to have
I'm gonna go fill my eye. And then you filled your eye here. These moves are actually really bad. Because if you're not in Atari, you not only lose points, but you're also filling your eyes, which might kill you. So
yeah, I didn't understand the points at all. So that okay.
Yeah, so you're surrounding the point right here. So
Yeah.
unless you're in Atari, don't fill it
Got it.
because that
Okay, yeah,
that
that's really
reduces a
important.
point. And even in the other rule set where I said stones are points too, you don't technically lose a point for this. This is why the beginner rule set is not as punishing as the Japanese rules. Japanese rules punish beginners hard, but beginner rules you wouldn't lose any points, but it would still be a pass. You would not gain any value.
Jimbo was asking a little bit more about how the passing works. I don't know if you missed it at all.
Okay,
But
so at
also,
any
can I already start just passing?
uh
Like what point could I have just started passing?
right now, because so let's think about it. First off, you can pass at any point in the game, but you shouldn't if you can play a move that gains value. So let's think about gaining value. First, identify the borders of the territory. This is the borders of the territory. And then you might say that this is a border, but I consider that group dead, so that's whites, so there's no border there because I just consider it as it stands. But if you say there's a border there, you should block it and capture it. But let's assume that for argument's sake that group's dead. The only border is the one I drew. Is there any openings that you can push in that border? Is there anything that's not blocked and not pushed?
I don't see any.
So that means the borders are finished, so you would pass. These stones are dead, and those stones are dead, so the game's technically over at this point. Before this point, let's say he took... You wouldn't pass because you can still gain value by capturing those. You can still gain value. But if you no longer play a move that gains value, then just pass. Now, if you're using the beginner rule sets, I would go ahead and play out every group on the board until they're all captured. And then I would pass. Like here, I would pass the beginner rule set because that way you learn it first. You learn what's dead, what's not dead, and then your eyes will know instead of just relying on the computer to tell you. Your eyes will actually know, and that's why I sort of made the help make the beginner rule set. So that way, if you're playing in person, just play it out. If you want to do this, I would put it on Chinese rules. That way, you can play it out without consequence. But if you're playing Japanese rules, which is what most everyone plays, you would pass at this point because playing inside you're actually losing points. But you lost the point, black lost the point, you lost the point, black lost the point. I mean, the score's not changing at this point, but you understand that passing would be more valuable.
Okay, I've just had a major breakthrough with this passing.
All right, but that's why I wanted you to, because explaining passing doesn't make as much sense until you actually play a game. That's why I always encourage you to play a game and let's review, and then we can go over a little bit more each time, a little bit more each game. So yeah, any more questions about this game, or do you want to go ahead and try again?
No, yeah. So do you have time? Can I play one more, and then you can?
Oh, I have another couple hours, so I'm happy to lecture you all night.
Okay. So yeah, two people have challenged me.
Okay.
Okay. So somebody's a 25 Q.
25Q would be great to challenge. 25Q would be.
I guess maybe that's just a friend. Oh my gosh, I'm getting flooded with them. Wow. Okay, so yeah, I want to play a 25Q, right?
Yep.
There's also Mr. Marsupial, unrated. I want to play this tough Angelo.
Right.
I don't know. Whatever the time control, you seem like you know what you're doing. Wow. Okay, I get to go first.
Awesome.
I'm a 4th ranker. I just want you to know. All right. So do you see my game and everything?
Yeah, I just joined from your profile.
Okay. 3rd ranker, classic. I'm a little bit more aggressive though. I go for that 4th rank. You know, I just go take it.
Yeah.
I'm coming up.
So you played E4, which is actually a 5th line move from the left side. So that was technically a side move instead of a corner, but I mean it's fine. Yeah. You fixed it.
It's ultra aggressive.
Ultra aggressive.
I'm just coming in here a little bit. I'm getting behind you. This is what Chili did to me. Chili kind of went behind. You know.
So Angelo, I've actually been given Angelo pointers on my stream as well. So we'll see.
Oh no.
We'll see who's listening to me better.
Battle of the 2 students.
Battle of the Spec Talk.
So how do I see how many games this person's played? I need to investigate this player, see how good we are.
If you wanted to do that, you could click on their username, and then I would open, and then you could click on their username again to go to their profile, but that'll take you away from the game. So what I do is just use the middle mouse button, and it'll open it in a new tab. But that's if you wanted to see that, you could do that.
All right, now.
Oh, the time settings are much better this time. 10 minutes.
But then once I get down to 0, it's going to be...
Once you get down to 0, it'll go to overtime. So it's okay for your main time to go to 0.
And I'll always have 30 seconds.
Yes.
So that's an infinity for me. So
And if you ever want to learn how to use OGS better, there is an OGS tutorial I have on YouTube for anyone who needs that, and I'm also willing to walk anyone through it or answer any questions that anyone has.
So, how worried do I need to be? How much am I? Have I been overly aggressive? That might be. Wow, a lot of people challenge.
Everyone wants to play you.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do. All right, I'm just slowly surrounded white here. You know, we snuck in. We're teasing them with this thing on E8. So we're so focused on that. Well, you go for that thing. It's all Atsugi. I'm just slowly surround the rest of this white camp. It's all part of my master plan. I got this.
How many viewers did you get to?
We're at 94.
Oh, nice. So you're gonna have like 94 challenges?
Probably. This is free rating points here. So white's never gonna run around. I don't get that move. Bad move. Calling it now. Yeah, not really. Maybe if I look around. Sometimes in chess, if you just kind of hover around the squares, eventually one of them just feels right, you know? I think sometimes you just gotta kind of glance around. And eventually it'll just... something will stick out.
I think you would hate me as a teacher. Because I'd be like, why are you playing so fast? Why are you using the mouse to read instead of your eyes?
I feel like I'm playing so slow. Look, glacier over here.
To me, you're playing at a good pace, actually. But you say you're reading with your mouse. I'm like, no, read with your eyes. Don't be a bad player. Read with your eyes. Learn how to visualize it so you can read 20 moves deep.
You know, sometimes you don't know where a piece goes, but if you just kind of grab it and you just kind of look at the squares, like, wow, maybe that would be a good square.
Yeah, that's how you misclick. Do you misclick a lot in chess?
Yeah, it happens. I mean, every 100 games or so, I'm gonna mouse slip. Okay, you're gonna get this E8. I don't even care about E8. I'm just surrounding everything here. I'm crushing it. This is just a dominating performance here.
So far, so good.
This 4th rank / 5th rank ultra aggressive attack. That's the way to go. That's the way to go. So I don't think A7 is a threat. So I don't think I need to worry about anything there. Now the question is, do I just slowly surround this? And yeah, so I'm just gonna think out loud, and you can tell me after the game.
Mm-hmm.
But like, so I'm thinking I'm going to eventually just surround all this white stuff. Is there anything more useful on these like 1st to 4th ranks? Probably not. I don't know if that's a good move, but I feel like I'm just gonna slowly get all of the white stones here. Start passing. This is easy.
This is easy, he says.
I think it's over. I could probably just pass my way through the rest of this.
Pass your way to death. That would be funny.
Okay. White has finally done something. White has finally made a move here. All right, let me just... Yeah, I need white to do some stuff, otherwise I just simply will run out of constructive ideas. So, hopefully white does some crazy, aggressive, sneak-in stuff. All right, let's just, you know... Because it's hard. It's like, do I need to defend d4? Do I need to place a stone on d4? Do I let him go there? Because maybe that doesn't do anything. I don't know. I'm just also going to cut this guy off this way. But I want a lot of eyes. I want eyes everywhere. I have eyes everywhere, watching everybody. Look at this brilliant move. F3. F3. In chess, they tell you not to play that move. I don't know what's going on here, but it feels like I'm totally crushing it. I can just pass. This is easy. Yeah, I don't honestly even know what to do. Now we've reached the... In chess, you get to that point where you just don't know what to do. and you have to make random moves. It's kind of where I make my living in chess. So let's see if I can keep that up and make my living and go. Just gonna stick to my side over here. We're gonna do a little. This is deep. It's based on a lot of advanced tactics towards the end. All right, but I think we're just gonna start circling this guy in. Let's just start circling him in. So you capture the stones, as I understand it, by surrounding the 4 points. Dancer.
Yeah. The lines connected to the stones are basically like your lifelines. They're called liberties. Without those lifelines, your stones will be captured. How to challenge people. In the top left, there's a hamburger, and you just search their username, click on it, and click challenge. And that's if you want to challenge a specific person. Otherwise, you can just click on the play tab at the top and just play a ranked game.
Yes, A6 I also have absolutely no idea about. How could any of this be surrounded? I wonder if it makes any sense to play this move so that now everything's super connected and I have mega liberties everywhere. And now I'll never, ever, ever get surrounded because everything's too connected. That's the thinking. But like, I never know if I want to play a move like D4. I don't feel like I have to. But I don't know any better. So D4 it is. All right. Can't believe this is more complicated than I originally thought. All right, let's make a threat for like once. H9 is in Atari. I'm trying to pick up on the lingo. Go lose E8. I don't care about it. I got like more space. Did I win? I have more space. Holy cow. They're coming in hot and fast. Did I lose a stone? How did that happen? So I also have no idea if I should play in this like dead space from like A9 to F9. You know, this whole giant open area. Because then he's going to eventually capture me. So maybe I just... This person's winning. Just start passing. We take one stone, start passing. I do feel like I have lots of things surrounded. I don't know how to actually eventually take them. Chat's giving me some... I guess it's probably cheating to tell me the evaluation of this position, because I honestly have no way of evaluating it. So probably if you're a Go player and you tell me the evaluation, I guess it's probably cheating. I don't know what to do. But if I pass and they're up one capture, they can pass and then they win, or we're counting all these things, right? What rules are we using?
You're using Japanese rules. You should be anyway.
So all of this, like all this dead space, that's all mine.
Yeah, it's Japanese rules.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 18-ish. 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you have to like sit here and do this?
No, you don't have to count. You can just pass.
But I want to make sure that I don't lose if they pass as well.
Passing doesn't have to do if you know the score or not. It has to do if you know if the game's done or not. Like if the borders are done or not.
Pass.
Pass.
Like you wouldn't expect.
Remove the dead stones.
Remove them. Count them up, baby. Did I win? I lost.
So, yeah. You have to accept the score.
Lost.
You have to accept the score.
A devastating loss. Wait, accept removed stones? Wait, what do I gotta do? It's not over?
No, it's over. You're supposed to accept that the AI scored it correctly.
Oh, it didn't. Do it again. Recount. Recount. Count it right.
No, you gotta accept.
Auto score.
It's disrespectful not to.
White wins.
If it's unless something's wrong, it's disrespectful not to accept the score.
All right, good one, Angelo.
2.5
I
points.
felt like I was crushing this person, but then it didn't happen. What did I do wrong? I need help.
Okay, so gonna start a review. So yeah,
Review
you played really, really, really well. Angelo's been practicing for several weeks now.
Good game to Angelo, by the way. I don't know which chat
Uh,
Angelo's in, but good game.
but yeah, so this looked like a real Go game. This was really cool. The other one looked really funny, but this one looked like a real Go game. All right, so let's talk about it. So yeah, so normally if you go here, I can go here and immediately destroy your points because you're on the 5th line. So
It was a gambit I was trying to play, you know.
okay, that's fine. But you immediately fixed it. So now white has or black has.
Can you explain that though? Actually, because I want to.
Yes.
Now that I've made my joke, I want to actually understand it.
So if you're on the 5th line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
It's very easy for me to come under you like this.
Which, yeah, I didn't get until you told me that that's actually the 5th line.
Because remember I said 3rd line is very secure? Well, it's because if you try to surround me, I can expand very, very easily. And you see how much space I'm surrounding? It becomes very easy to make 2 eyes if I play correctly. It's very easy to invade the 5th line. And the 4th line is also invadable, but there's a lot more variations that black can do. It's a lot easier to handle. So yeah, the 4-4 is not perfect. It's not on the 3rd line. 3rd line is the one that's really hard to invade. Because if you play here, you're trapped against the edge on the 2nd line. So 3rd line is much harder to invade than a 4th line or a 5th line. 4th line is invadable, but there's like good exchanges to make it okay. But 5th line, I just immediately invade you and you're in a lot of trouble. So it's not recommended. I mean, there are 5th line moves that people try and be fancy and move very quickly, but it's not recommended. It's not what I would recommend. But you immediately fixed it and brought it down to the 3rd line. So you immediately have a very nice position. And this is very nice. It's actually pretty close because black definitely has more, but white has Comey. So it's a pretty close game. And you immediately invaded, which is cool. But then you immediately gave it up. And so I'm kind of like, why did you play this move if you're going to just immediately give it up?
So, yeah, I guess I was thinking, which I mean, my thinking must be wrong, but that I would just eventually just kind of get that territory that white has.
So
but it doesn't magically happen like that.
Yeah.
That's what I learned.
If you play inside, you're supposed to follow it up and try to make eyes. Now, this one should die, but I mean, it's beginner level, so you never know what's going to happen. But if you play inside and then immediately give it up, then maybe you should have just not played inside in the first place and just pushed the borders. Because if you play it this way, then it's a lot easier. But if you play inside and make them stronger, you can't really play this way because maybe I just counterattack or something, which goes into like some touching battle stuff. But the theory here is if you play an invasion, you're supposed to follow it up unless you're doing some sort of sacrifice play for a Tsuji or something.
And just the idea of the evasion too is I need to somehow get enough territory with 2 eyes that I just conquer a little bit of territory in there.
Yeah, so if you live, it's no longer his territory. So that was his. He has control of it. And if you play an invasion and make 2 eyes, that's no longer his points. And he can't kill you or capture it or push it out or anything else. So evasions are very powerful but very risky. So
yeah, I don't know why. I just had the feeling that I'd just eventually white would just run out of space and that would be that. But that's not how it works.
So here, white actually supposed to block you because he can't cut yet. So you have to fix and then white just goes down. Or white can push the border. Or whatever. So white can actually block here. So this was a nice little get for you. And then white played here. So 2nd line endgame. So actually right now you're technically in endgame, which means you're supposed to finish the borders. So now 2nd line endgame is technically bigger than 1st line endgame. So I'd play 2nd line endgame here. I'd push the border.
How do I know it's an endgame?
Because you see how both of you have a border. Now,
yeah, definitely felt like we both had like starting to define
assuming no invasions, there's no open corners, there's no open sides, and there's no open center because both of you are touching the center, so it's kind of like equal. It's dame, which means neutral points. So the center is kind of like neutral points right now. There's no like open centers surround. You both have taken the open corners, open sides. Assuming no invasions, then all that's left is to finish the borders. So that'll come with your eyes will come. Your eyes will start seeing that the more you play. But on a 9x9, pretty much it's endgame after like 6 moves. Like after this is practically endgame because it's so small. But on the bigger boards, the center's a lot more open. There's more to do. But on this one, you could consider it endgame unless you choose to invade, in which case that's middle game stuff. So assuming no invasions, which white is probably going to have to invade. But white is playing this one, which is not an invasion. So I'm assuming white is playing endgame. So with that assumption, second line endgame is better, and pushing the borders is better, and then you go down to the first line and play that. That's probably the expected endgame, something along those lines. Which is just push the borders and force your opponent to respond.
Pushing the borders is kind of the hard part for me.
Yeah, that's that's recognizing that you're an endgame and pushing those borders is. I mean, you have to learn eventually, but that's also what you're supposed to learn on 13 by 13 kind of. So you haven't quite got there yet. Here, white could actually go down because this threatens to come under your position, so you kind of have to block, and it also gives white a little bit more of a corner. And then since he went here, you're able to start pushing the border a little bit more in the corner, so it's just a little bit better for you. And he blocked here, so white should learn the Hane, which means to bend around your opponent. Hanes do have cutting points, but Hanes on the second line, if they cut like this, you just push them to the edge, like we talked about before. So this is a shape that white should learn. But you're playing Hanes great, but you're also like probably not checking the cut, so you're kind of just doing it blindly. So Hanes are great, but always check the cut with the Hane. Bend around is very common. It's a very good shape for bending around a position or bending around to surround or whatever. So it's a very common shape, but you have to watch the cuts with the Hanes. So you're Haneing blindly, and white's not Haneing at all, so it's interesting to see who's doing better. So yeah, here you're protecting this border, but I think the border in the corner was a little bit more valuable because this one's already blocked. And here, white hasn't blocked it yet, so you want to keep pushing. Here, white can block and make some points. You could have prevented that. This one was a nice defense, but remember those second line cuts? Boop. So you lost a stone. You could have lost a stone.
Okay.
So white actually went here, so second line cuts or everything. And then you very impressively fix the cut. I expected you to go here and just want to block your points, but there is a second line cut here, which would have gotten you. So protecting that before blocking is very nice. It's a very nice catch. All right, so now white played the inevitable. So now white played the inevitable invasion because as a beginner you can't count the score, but what you can do is draw lines and imagine a box. So you can see black's box is much bigger than white's box, which you did realize, and you were just all the smack talk. You definitely realized you were winning.
But I don't really.
Yeah, I mean you're doing quite well.
Or,
Yeah, you're doing quite well. I mean you don't have to do anything, right? As long as white's the one who has to do something to make up the difference. So white is inevitably forced to invade, and so now what you want to do since they invade is push it to the edge. So. You can go here and here and then here, and this actually is already dead as it stands. This is a box 4. Box 4 is considered one eye, which we haven't gone over that, but just know that that's a dead shape, so that would kill white.
Where's the best way to learn like all these shapes?
The Go problems, the puzzles.
Okay.
That's the simplest way to do it. It's like checkmate patterns. You don't really, unless you like read it out and just kind of see it. You kind of have to. You're supposed to go through puzzles and figure out the patterns and shapes and stuff for life and death problems. But there are basic life and death shapes, which I can show you a couple.
So F3 is just dumb.
Yeah. So the only reason you would play inside your own points or own area of control is one, you're protecting something. So you're either protecting an invasion or protecting a cut or protecting something that white can do to you. But in this case, you're already connected with a bunch of diagonals even. Diagonals have what's called miai, which I heard there was a chess term for this, but miai means if your opponent plays one, you play the other. So diagonals are very connected because no matter which side white plays, you just play the other and connect. So diagonals are considered connected already. So you're pretty solid there. You're not going to get cut or die anywhere as long as you don't make a mistake. So playing here is a little bit of a -1 point because assuming no problems, you just took your own points instead of like blocking or reducing or something, right? Instead of playing on the border, you just took your own point. But that's fine if you're protecting something or preventing an invasion or something, but you probably want to check with your eyes first before you waste the move right there, because it is a big wasted move if there's nothing there. If there's something, then defend it. This one, it's better to just block directly.
Okay. Yeah, so that's kind of where I didn't understand, because I'm just looking at it, I'm like, well, whatever, they can put it on D1, but that doesn't actually do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's better to just create the borders.
It's 1 more point.
Okay, because I get 1 more point.
Yep.
Okay, that
1 more
makes
point.
sense.
Assuming no weaknesses. All right, so he played here.
What I'm trying to take away from this one is just learning about borders.
Yeah.
How to make them. And
So he played here, which is good because he's trying to live, and the reason you lost this game is because you let this group live and took your own points. Actually, if you don't take your own points, I think you win, even if this group lives. Because when it got to here, I actually counted, and then white was only up by half a point, as I recall. So it was half a point game, which means it was dead even, but white was going to win. And that's because you actually took 2 of your own points. So you were losing even. So you could have won even with this invasion. You still could have. You had a chance to win, but you took your own points, which is what cost you the game. And then you kind of made it worse, because one thing that is really tricky is how many liberties does this corner move have?
Sorry, wait, I was answering a chat question. Sorry, say it one more time.
How many liberties does this corner move have?
The move J1?
Yep.
2?
Yeah. So the corner is actually the worst move on the board for liberties. So you have to be extremely cautious when playing the corner, otherwise you immediately just get captured.
Okay, and that's how, my stone just fell off.
Yeah, because remember, it's not connected diagonally. You have to connect through the lines, and it has 1 liberty in the corner because white's blocking the other one. So liberties in the corner and on the edges are dangerous. So always check those. And also the big thing is if you connect it, you actually cause a problem for the other 2 stones, because if you connect, this is an Atari.
Oh.
You run, I capture. You Atari, I capture. So you're actually in Atari if you connect that, because you actually take a liberty of those 2 stones, which activates the cut. So you did fix the cut, and you actually got lucky here. You could have lost a lot more. But J9 was a bit of a mistake. And then you correctly filled the dame at the end and passed. So that was good. Now, so it was 2.5 points. So
it was correct, even though I lost. There's no way. There's just nothing I can do.
At this point,
even is there any swindles? Is there anything I could have done? Like if I know I'm losing, is there anything I can start filling in behind their territory?
I would say if you recognize that you're losing, this is a common tactic on the big board as well. But if you understand that you're going to lose the game, you have nothing to lose or nothing nothing to lose worse than you're already losing. Right? You're going to lose the game. You can't make it any worse. It's good to try at least one thing before giving up. However, it's very important that you understand that you're 100% going to lose if you continue playing normally. Once you recognize that, then you can do an all or nothing move. But
I can just count, right? Like I can sit here and I can just count
on this board. I would say you should not do it because you're not able to count. Well, you can probably count this exact score, but on the big board, if it looked like this, you wouldn't be able to count. There'd be too many points. It would be too easy for you to miscount. It's too dangerous. It's too close for you to make a mistake in evaluation. So if it's close, don't play an all or nothing move. Just play it, let the game finish. Maybe you win, maybe you don't. But the stronger you get, the more you'll be able to say, okay, this is the exact score, or he's winning by 10, or a position. He's up by a position. Like maybe you draw shapes, like you draw this shape and that shape and that shape, and you say, okay, the left shape is worth half of mine. The other shape is worth the other half. So in this game, they cancel out. It's a close game. You should just finish it. But let's assume he had another position on top of this. Then yeah, I would recommend an all or nothing idea. But you have to understand that if you do that all or nothing idea and it doesn't work, you should probably resign, which means to give up.
So, I guess if you had to fill in my shoes and you knew I was losing here, how would you try to swindle?
I would try to kill something here and maybe hope for either this move or this move to kill him. But if he plays correctly, that's not going to die. I would maybe try to kill that. But that's the only thing I'd come up with. And it's likely not going to work. All or nothing moves are a lot harder on a 9x9 than they are on a 19x19. But with that being said, as a beginner, try to kill stuff if you're gonna lose. If you're gonna lose, try to kill stuff. Reduce it to one eye and play inside their area until you get to the point where you can read or calculate that no matter what move you play in here, they're gonna respond correctly. Like, you just know that they have 2 eyes no matter what you play. At that point, you should just let it. You shouldn't. If you know it doesn't work, don't worry about it. Just finish the game and learn from it and move on. Because it's more important that you learn how it works. And once you can read out that corner and say that's alive no matter what, you move on to a bigger board, right? You should move on to the 13 by 13.
Right.
Then once you get to the 19 by 19, you can start learning, okay, what is a good all or nothing move? And how can I trick my opponent? What's the most likely trick and blah, blah, blah. The only reason I would come up with something like this is I personally know for sure it doesn't work, but I'm facing another beginner. Maybe he'll mess it up. Maybe I can trick him. And that's just if I want to be mean. But if I'm playing a teaching game, no, I'd never do that. Maybe I'll do this as a test.
So, is there a lot more etiquette in Go? It feels like
yes,
it's a more respectable.
Go
game.
has a lot of courtesies. Because in Japan, in Asian culture even, there's a lot of respect that goes around. So in Go, there's a lot of courtesies. So in Go, it's kind of important for you to greet your opponent and say hi, have fun at the start of the game. Online, it's not so important, especially since a lot of new gamers and stuff have been coming since Google's DeepMind bot, like AlphaGo and AlphaZero and stuff. We got a lot of new Go players, so they just don't know the courtesies. So online, it's a hit or miss. But any good player, like any strong player, will know the courtesies, and they'll always say like hi, have fun. And then at the end of the game, they say thank you for the game. Whether they win or lose, it's polite to say thank you for the game. And any strong player will start, or any like top player that knows their courtesies will start in the top right corner. This has to do with if you play in person, you're sitting across from each other. And back in the day, like this is a couple hundred years ago, the next response for white was to play this corner so they could approach theirs. Now sometimes they'll play here to prevent the cross, to prevent this sort of cross idea. But the idea was if white wants to play this corner, black plays the top right. So white's first move is closest to his right hand, which most people are right-handed. So it's the closest corner for white to play. So since white is going second, we will give white the easiest corner to respond with. So that is why we play in the top right as a courtesy. Since we're playing black and they're playing white, we have the first move. So we're giving you the closest corner to your side of the board. But that's more of it's sort of in person, but I mean, it's just a habit that's carried online. So any strong game that you see, it's going to be in the top right, unless they're playing, with the exception being if they're playing something in the center for being silly or something. You'll see it in the top right corner. But yeah, those are the common courtesies in Go. And it's also very important to be respectful and not trash talk your opponent. Like your opponent can't hear you, it's fine. You can say it on stream. That's very fun and engaging. It's a lot of fun, right? But it would be very, very discourteous to say that in person or after the game say you suck or this was a stupid move. That's those are usually frowned upon in Go. It's a lot better to say, I think maybe this move might have been good here, or I didn't understand this move. I was thinking maybe you'd play here. The wording is kind of important when you study together and stuff, especially if you're close in rank. And it's also discourteous to. This is actually a little funny. It's discourteous to not treat stronger players with a little bit of respect for them knowing more than you, and not in the snobby sense. It's in the sense that you shouldn't criticize their moves if they're stronger than you. You should say, I don't understand why you played this one instead of this one. And then maybe they'll be like, oh, I didn't see that. You're right. You're absolutely right. That's cool. But let's say if you're close in rank, you can say, maybe I don't like that move or something. But if they're like 5-10 ranks stronger than you, it can be discourteous to say that move's trash. Because maybe it's not, and you just suck. So there's a lot of little courtesies.
Chess club, it's all you hear all day long is just people trash talking. Like that's all that it is, and it's all fun, and it's all like it's not.
I mean, if it's between friends, there's all kind of trash talk. I mean, it's fine. It's for fun, right? Yeah. But if you're like at a tournament or at a big event or something like that, you should. It's disrespectful to trash talk your opponent or something. So there's a lot of frowning going on around the Go community. Like no one's gonna get super mad unless you're just really really rude. But usually they're like, I don't like the way you said that or something. Or like a lot of people have asked me for a teaching game. Like I get on stream like, all right, I want to teach somebody, and someone will be like, hey, teach me. and I'm like, I don't know if I want to teach you. You're kind of rude about it. Like, hey, here's a game. Teach me. And they don't say please. They don't like say, would you mind doing it? No, I'm like, I don't know if I want to teach someone who's going to demand I teach you when I'm teaching for free and I literally charge money for lessons and stuff and I'm teaching for free. You're going to demand that I teach you? I don't know if I want to do that. So there's a lot of courtesies, and so like that example, he's like, oh crap, I just reread that and I apologize. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm happy to teach you. I'm just probably asking don't demand a teaching game, just ask for it. But there's a lot of courtesies in Go. There's a lot of respect in Go, and I would say don't stress over it too much. It's mostly about being nice to people, and just treating Go as a reflection of who you want to be, I guess. And that's why in Go there's a lot more courtesies and stuff. But it's also it's just because it stems from Asian culture instead of Western culture. It's not about, oh, I'm going to be better than you. It's about treating you. It's about being respectful to other people and saying, yes, I want to defeat you, but you are a challenging opponent. Thanks for the game, blah, blah, blah.
Doesn't sound like me.
No. You are very funny because I'm in the Go community so much, I don't hear that so much, and it's really funny to hear. So as a streamer personality, it's really, really funny. Just never say it when your opponent can hear you, because maybe you'll hurt their feelings or something. And maybe
it's obviously different too. Like Chili Mo, I know because he's like here and he's on stream a lot. And
I mean, that's
Angelo,
fine.
I don't know, so it's like I did have like a different.
It's not nearly as big of a deal as it sounds. Just know that it does exist, and if you hear someone playing in the top right, or you hear the way they talk, it might just be slightly different, and that's just why. It's just trying to be courteous and stuff. But basically, it's just treat your other humans with respect. Like be neighborly, be nice, and that's all it is. Yeah. So great game. I really, really like this game. I'm really impressed with this game. The first game was definitely cool. You were figuring out captures very well, but this one looked like a legit Go game. It was really nice.
Oh, sweet. Oh, that's good to hear. Do we have? So I think I still have a whole bunch of challenges. Is it cool to do just one more?
Yeah, I mean, keep going. I'll go as long as you want until midnight. But at midnight, I'm probably gonna go to bed.
One more sounds correct to me.
All right.
Let's see. So I'm getting a lot. So I think a lot of these people are provisional, so that's fine. Maybe they're right up there. And yeah, I don't know who was challenged first or whatever. So I'm just gonna click this first one. Right. So I click. This is Dr. Lucky Monty, who I think is provisional. So I don't think has ever played a game. So
we'll see how it goes.
Oh, it's my turn. I got to make a move. You know what? I think let's play one respectful game. Here, I'm a very respectful guy. One time in my life. One time in my life.
You can also play 4-4 in the top right corner. That's also fine. F6 is what you've been trying to do is fourth line, but it's also the top right corner. Oh, you're gonna go cross. Ooh,
oh yeah.
Big fighty game. Big fight.
Cross applesauce.
So the reason the cross is so like holy crap is because normally you want to, because white has Comey, normally you want to make a combination and make a big area or something. But cross is pretty much no one has a big area. It's going to be really dirt dog fight basically, in the dirt dog fighting for points.
That's what I want. I'm going to start crossing more often. Let's define some borders here. Kind of a master now of defining borders. So yeah, look at this nice little border.
Well, keep in mind that he has a stone inside of your border that you're.
Oh,
he's already has an invasion because of the cross. So.
Oh, who would do this? Wow, big invasion.
That's why I said cross is a big dog fight, because everyone's already kind of invading everyone.
Sweet. Somehow I got to get in there, invade him.
And someone said they like you because you fight for the honor of your family.
That's right. Yeah. Start sneaking behind. Am I gonna get cut? Yeah, it's hard to know who's cutting who and when. Let's keep going around this way. There's all these like cuts. I don't know if I need to be filling in. Maybe I need to fill these in on E8 and D3. And we've got to be filling these squares. Hard to know. There was some term for this you were throwing around, but I didn't really catch everything.
What, the honey?
So I'm gonna try filling them in.
Oh, you mean the cut?
Yeah, but after the cut, there was like Hami or something.
Hane is bend around. Cut is to disconnect. Atari means you're about to be captured. Like that.
Oh.
Definition of Atari right there.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's life or death here, people. And so if I play D9, he will play E9. And I'm trapped. So I shouldn't do anything about it. I should accept my losses.
Mm-hmm. Sack it, move on.
It was a sacrifice. It's actually a Tsuki. That's my favorite.
Tsuji?
Tsuji.
Yeah.
The
there. Tactical play?
Yeah. There's a hidden point. I think you guys are going to see in a moment. You're going to like it.
Is that kill the G3 stone and get half the board?
Yeah.
Totally, right?
That's
totally the plan.
Just kind of defining a border over here. What's this stone doing on G3? Where did that come from? No. Okay.
Everyone's just ignoring G3 right now. It's really funny.
I don't know what to do about it. Let's just look at it. I'm gonna come next to you. So let's see if we can be friends. Or maybe I'm supposed to go from behind, from like the bottom.
No, you're supposed to push him to the edge. Remember?
Push him to the edge.
Yeah, we'll push him to the edge if you want to kill it.
All right, I do want to kill him.
All right. This will be a lot of attack and defense, and he's supposed to make space, which he's trying to do, which is very nice.
Okay, so hopefully that's a pushing move. Okay, just keep going. Okay, just. So there's some amount of space here, and based on my deep intuition, it feels like white may be able to make a couple eyes, but who knows? There's probably like things I have to calculate, but I don't know how to do that. So just gonna let that space down there live. Oh my gosh, what happened? Where did it go?
Ooh.
Wow.
He's going in your face.
What do you think about this? What are you doing? Can you do that? Why would you think you can do that? So, calculation time. If I played h3 and took, what would happen in that resulting position?
Oh, remind me to explain what a ko is after this.
No.
Yeah, ko never came up until now, so I'll explain what that is after the game.
Just border. I think white's winning. That's my generic assessment. Feels like just looking at the space, drawing imaginary lines in my head. Feels like white's winning. But I think I've always misassessed every single position, so I could be wrong. Like here, I'm looking at A2 and B2.
So one thing I would suggest is never think you're wrong until after the game, because you have to have confidence in your play during the game. Otherwise, you'll paralyze yourself thinking, "What if I'm wrong?" So during the game, have all the confidence. After the game, question everything.
Got it. Overconfidence is my middle name. I could probably pull it off. So I'm crushing this guy. There's a lot of space over here, though, for white. A lot of space. Does this person know how to play this game? This person's playing well.
I think you're both playing well.
It's not fair. Where are the Patzers at?
Well, everyone learned how to play the game at the same time, so I think you all know you're all like the same level.
Wait, these guys were listening when you were telling them all these good tips? That's not fair.
Thank you, Charm, for the follow.
You guys, don't listen. The tips are for me. All right, now. Forcing E1. Okay.
Oof. I'm getting a bunch of
Now.
follows.
You can't go to any of those squares. I can't go anywhere over there. I don't know anything about over here. Let me just quickly count all these squares because I'm so good at counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14-ish, 15, 16-ish, 17, 18, 19. And white already has 2 plus 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, so I'm going to keep on battling.
So remember when you count to add captures and Comey.
What's Comey again?
Bonus points. It's the plus 5.5, what you see under his name. That's the Comey. It's 5.5.
Why did they get so much?
They normally get 6.5.
Ugh, feels like a lot.
It is. It's annoying. It's really annoying. And the American Go Association, the Comey's actually 7.5, and it's so much at the high levels. 7.5 is so many blasted points.
Is that's to encourage black to like do something to win, or
it's because black is getting so much faster at making points that they gave white a bonus point. But the AGA also has a sort of a special rule at the end. It says you lose a point to pass, and white must pass last. So if black has, if black passes first, then it's okay, and it's 7.5. But if white passes, there was some sort of, it's hard to explain, but one of them had an extra stone on the board, and the extra point was to make up for that. But in a special condition where they don't have an extra stone on the board, then they go down to 6.5 because of the passing cost of point. It's really convoluted. It's stupid. I hate it. It's stupid and I hate it. But basically, it's 7.5 points, and they have the passing cost of point in the American Go Association rules. They have a reason for it, but it's convoluted, and I like the AGA rules and how they're written, especially for how they calculate territory, but it's a little annoying to explain to beginners. In very rare instances, there's very special situations, and the wording of the Asian rule sets sometimes lose players points in very specific scenarios. So the AGA was worded in a way that it handled those very rare scenarios very well. So the AGA is a very well written rule set, but it costs a point to pass, and there's 7.5 Comey instead of 6.5. So it's annoying to explain to beginners.
Yeah.
But they have reasons for it. I don't question the top mathematicians in the world that write the rules.
Calculating some really deep lines here. Am I calculating? I mean, reading.
I think you both are like the same level, because it's a very interesting and even game.
Pass.
Oh, well. Let me do a. Well, you got plus 5.5, so there's no point on calculating anything. Give me this one. Boom.
Pass.
Pass. How dare you? So this, although, is like white territory, so filling it up is like a good idea. I think. Here's where knowing the rules would help more. So I think it makes sense to fill up this because I'm taking away from
Pass.
white. That's my reasoning. I could be wrong. I'm filling up the white space. I have one eye. You're holding something back, so maybe I'm wrong. Have I got myself trapped? Did I not know how to make enough eyes?
How do beginners find the most complicated positions? Like, I don't even want to explain because it's complicated, and then you guys create it yourselves. Oh my gosh.
I'm very tactical player. Game.
I'm like, we're not going to get into the complicated stuff today. That's too much for a beginner lesson. Nope, we're going to create it on the board. Now you have to.
Won't let me make that move. That move is suicide. Won't let me do it. Okay, good to know. C9 is illegal, if anybody was wondering. I don't know if you guys were wondering that, but it is. It's not a legal move.
For those in chat, I think you guys are wrong. Cool. I love watching beginner games. Sometimes it's really stressful, and other times it's like the best games to watch. It's so exciting. For those who are asking if saying it's a Seki, it is not a Seki. I haven't explained what Seki is, but for those who know what it is and think it is not.
This is high pressure here. I'm gonna have to dive deep into this time bank. I haven't used this time bank enough.
Yeah, you guys haven't even made it to overtime.
I know. This might be a thinker though. This is a big decision here. You know what? No, doesn't make any sense.
Oh man, this is an exciting game. Your games are so exciting.
I do it for the fans.
Totally on purpose, right?
I feel like I still need to make a move. Just feel like it. Feel like it needs to be done. Just don't see a good move. It's tough. I honestly don't know what to do. Just make a random move. Didn't want to play this move, but I've done it. People are hoping I play a 19 by 19 before the end of the stream.
Yeah, I don't know if you can handle that.
Boom. Boom.
Pass.
Pure Young Yi? What does that mean?
Byo-yomi started. Overtime started.
Yeah, so if I pass, yeah, space now. I don't see any useful moves. So I pass as well.
Remove
count
the
it up.
dead stones.
I win by a crushing amount? Is that what it means? Yeah,
Oh my gosh. This is so
yeah,
great.
Accept. 52? Yeah, accept. No need to recount it, okay? Was the auto scoring?
Black wins.
Yes.
Ooh,
Yes.
Man. That was funny.
Yes. All right, good game,
Review
Dr. Lucky.
started.
Had no idea what was going on, but very happy with the result, and I'm very happy with Chilimo with the sub. Thanks, Chilimo. Woo! What happened here? That was exciting.
All right, so let's go. Let's take it from the start. Take it from the top. All right, so cross Useki's really interesting. So you start going for the center. Now, the problem is it's hard to get the center in a cross because, like you saw, he's already invaded you. So it's mostly about taking sides and stuff and then reducing very fast. So on 9x9, that's more or less a simple play out. It's a lot more complicated than that, but there's a simple idea. But you started going for the center, which on this board is not a good idea, simply because he's already invaded you. But he kept respawning, so that's nice. And you didn't fix your cut, so you fixed this cut though.
I should be fixing those like right away.
Only when your opponent blocks.
Did I allow anything?
If he blocks, you see how you only have 2 liberties now?
Yeah.
So here, if he plays inside, you just push him to the edge. But here, when he plays inside, you are being pushed to the edge. So when he blocks, you're supposed to fix. Because you lose liberties. You only have 2 liberties left. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's still I'm gonna make this mistake again, but it makes it makes sense.
So when you have 3 liberties, if he cuts, he has 1, you have 2. But if you
Okay.
have 2 liberties and he cuts, you have 1, he has 2, and yeah, you can play, and he has 1, you have 1, but it's his turn.
Okay.
So this stone
okay.
takes the liberty, which activates that cut.
Okay.
All right, so up to here, you guys played very normal moves. You made like maybe 1 second line cut mistake, but other than that, very normal moves. The problem is this white stone right here is kind of affecting everything that you want. So yeah, definitely
And
do
that's
something
because
about that.
he just necessarily will get some more space down there.
Yeah, so if he's alive, you don't have this area. That's
Yeah.
not yours if it's alive. So you got to go kill it or surround it or something. Because you have no
Did I do
no
that
control
right
of
away,
it.
or was it like good that I played around the border first and then came back to it?
It's not good that you played around the border because a lot of your moves can be ignored. Like, for example, this one, I could ignore it because white's already blocked everything on the left, so I could ignore it and go here. And now I have a base, which is eye space, basically. Give me the pin. So now I have eye space, so I'm alive. You can't really push my border anywhere, so it'd be a good timing to play this one. But getting a stone's, fine for a beginner, but it is a little bit slower than living with that stone because the entire game's kind of riding on if black can kill that or not.
Okay.
And then both you guys blocked, and there's a whole like life and death problem in the bottom right. And you guys are like, I'm gonna play 1-point moves. All right, so now you played, and he expanded along the edge. That's good. Normally, you would want to surround the corner first, and then live or something like this, or maybe just this. Start surrounding some eyes. Get some eye space. Tiger's mouths are great for making eyes because Tiger's mouth is 1 move away from an eye. So having like 2 Tiger's mouths on both sides is really good for making eyes. So this would kind of be a good way to do it. Eyes, the corner is really great for making eyes. It's easier than the side, but that's a higher level concept. It goes into life and death problems. So here you want to destroy the corner. I know I said push to the edge, so your basics are correct, but on this point, he's already surrounded by all of these stones. So since he's already surrounded, you want to reduce the eye space now. So in my approach method document for attack and defense, it's step 1 is to unsettle or basically take the base, which is the eye space. The efficient eye space, the big eye space, and then force them to run away. And then step 2 is surround them. Step 3 is to reduce the little eye space they have left. And step 4 is the vital point, like that 3 in a row shape you saw, play the vital point, reduce it down to 1 eye. So in this case, they're already surrounded, so you're actually at step 3 if you're trying to kill, which is reduce the eye space. But if you don't know that, then this is a good move, because if you don't know for sure that you're going to be able to kill them or something, then blocking your points isn't a bad idea. Yeah, they live, but now you don't lose your points. But if you play something like this, and they end up living, then you lose all your points. But if you wanted to kill this would be the way to do it. Reduce the eye space. All right, here you missed the second line cut, which is really vital for the life and death of this corner. Because if he takes a second line cut, that's an immediate eye. So he has an eye right here and an eye right here. So he's completely alive. So there's a big vital point. Then he started playing over here. I wasn't sure what he was after exactly. And you just ignored him, which is cool. But then you fixed. But, this is hard to read for a beginner. So first off, there's an Atari right here, but you can connect. There's a cut right here. And if you connect these 2 stones, then these 3 die. Oh, thank you for the cheer.
Really enjoying this stream. Thanks.
Thank you for the
also
bits.
Big shout out to Suji for gifting 10 subs.
Oh my gosh. Holy crap.
Yeah, absolutely insane. Thank you so
Nice to Suji. Very, very nice. So you have to defend this one, and these 2 stones can't be cut because it's the self-Atari. So there's technically nothing here, but it's very complicated for your level to see. So fixing is fine. It's not bad. For your level, it's not bad. All right, then you fixed. He tried to go under. You blocked, fixed, block here, which is very nice. Here you threatened the second line cut. He fixed and you blocked. There's a very nice little combination here. Now the game's pretty much done. But I believe that you lost. I didn't count this game because I didn't really care. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So you have 20. And he has 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21 on the board. So he has 26 and a half. So yeah, you're going to lose. So the invasion was definitely a good idea. And
was this the right way to do it? So here, you're right. So I kind of felt like maybe am I objectively lost? Like I assume.
yeah, you've definitely lost the game. So doing an all or nothing idea like this is definitely not a bad idea for a beginner. When you're stronger, you're like, there's nothing in here. He has like 3 eyes. There's nothing you could technically do.
Yeah.
But you don't know that yet, so it's
Right.
fine to try. It's great to try and learn. This is how you learn, especially when your opponent fills their own eye, because this is a huge mistake. Because that's his eye. So all he has to do is surround these stones, push them to the edge, and they're dead. Like, you just push them to the edge, they're dead. There's nothing you can do. You have 2 eyes, they have no liberties, no eyes. There's nothing you can really do. But when White filled his own eye, suddenly a lot can be done. You can take this, and now White has 3 liberties and no eyes, and Black has like 4 liberties and maybe an eye.
Oh.
So you can see maybe Black has an eye right here. Black has more liberties than White now. And White lost his eye, so now it's like uncertain who's killing who. So it's really uncertain who's killing who now. And you went here, so I'm like, oh, I actually don't know if this works or not, because it gets really complicated very quickly. And then White ignored and started playing in your area, and you responded, that's fine. But then White kept ignoring, and his whole group's dying. Like, this entire section of the board's dying right now, and you guys are like fighting over this corner. So it's very exciting to figure out what's going to happen. This shape, technically, you're supposed to push towards the closest edge.
Okay. Yeah.
But I mean, it's fine. It dies either way.
When you say
When it
it
does
makes
this,
sense.
you just capture. But both of you guys are fighting others, and then he passed, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he passed. And then you kept playing over here, and he passed again. I'm like, I'm going nuts over here. And then you took, and I'm like, stop taking your own points, because remember, this is dead as it stands. It's Japanese rules. This is losing a point. So there's a whole group dying. One player's passing, and the other player's playing negative points. And there's a dying group on the board. It's very exciting, okay? And then you came over here and made an eye, which is really cool. And the only point for White to play is...
Yeah, we were thinking that, so that was intentional.
The only point for White to play is here, and then Black plays here. And this is considered what is called a seki. A seki is a Go term that means mutual life, which means neither player can kill each other. Because if White tries to take your liberties, it's a self-atari. And if Black tries to take the liberties, let's say you go here or whatever, you try to take the liberties, it's a self-atari. So whoever tries to take the liberties dies. So neither player can play.
What's the term called again?
It's called a seki. It means mutual life.
Seki? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
means...
seki equals zug swing is what they're saying in my chat, because that's what it is in chess. Okay.
Oh,
because
okay.
yeah, I felt like there was a lot of zug swing everywhere.
Yeah, and so this way, both players live. So you kind of miss the Vita point of here, which prevents his eye, and then he plays here, then you play here. Just keep preventing the eyes, and it kind of dumbs... yeah, then you would be eye versus no eye, so yeah, it kind of has to play here. Then you get eye versus no eye. Eye versus no eye means you have a liberty that he can't fill, or so you eye versus no eye. You can see if he plays, it's self-atari, but if you play, you have a liberty at that eye, so it's not self-atari, and you can capture. Nice. So it becomes eye versus no eye, which is not a seki. So it's a big fight for the eyes in here, and both of you guys are kind of like. And then he's just passing. And I was like, oh no, he thinks he's won. He has no idea about the life and death. And you made an eye, then he made here. And they were saying this is a seki. Technically, this is not a seki. It's an eye versus no eye. Because when you play here and here, it's an Atari. And he has to connect and not an eye. So, but you played it from this side. And this can create a ko.
What's a ko? Yeah, everyone in the chat was just yelling ko, and I don't even know what that means.
So if White plays right here, you can't play here because it's self-atari again. So now it's no longer eye versus no eye. Now it's going to be either a seki or a ko. So a ko is this shape at the top, which is another term that I was going to explain if it came up, and it came up. You made every complicated Go term come up pretty much.
Yeah, I'm trying to teach everybody. I'm just making mistakes.
Yeah. So if you take right here, you see how C9 only has 1 liberty? So White can immediately take back, and it just keeps repeating back and forth, right? But
Oh,
The
okay.
code
That's kind of
rule,
cool. Yeah, I never
the code rule
didn't think of this
states
concept.
you cannot create the same position that just happened. So the board has to change somewhere. That prevents an infinite loop, which is the code rule.
Uh-huh.
There's a code would be an infinite loop if it wasn't for the code rule, which so the code rule says you have to make the board different. So let's say white played here and black took. White cannot take back. White has to do
On this turn until the position changes?
yeah,
Is
you
that how it
have to
works?
change the position, or pass or whatever. The position has to be different. So white has to
But if you pass, the
place.
position isn't different, right? Or like, what do you mean if you pass?
Well, like I said, the rule states it can't be the same as it was two moves ago. Like it can't be like the exact same.
Okay.
But the problem is, if you pass, it considers that a different state. Kind of, it's weird
Really?
because
Okay.
you're not expected to pass. You're in a co. You're expected to play a co threat. Because
Yeah.
if I pass, if I do something right and I pass, right, you can just fill it, and now it's not a co. So if he passes, you just win the co and you just fix. So
okay.
passing is not a really good move. Instead, what you're supposed to do is force your opponent to respond somewhere. So like here, putting all of these stones into Atari, because now they
Nice.
only have one liberty, forces you to respond. Because if you fix the co, then all those stones die. So this is called a co-threat, which forces your opponent to respond. So I take or whatever. Now the board is different, and now white can take back. And now black has to make a co-threat.
So black can't play C9 now
No. Now,
because they have to make the position different first.
right. So that's what a co is. Now, with that being said, technically this isn't a co for white's death because white can't actually win the co. So black can play anything else or whatever, and even take his own point or whatever, or just whatever, pass something, right?
Okay.
White can't fill because it becomes I versus no I again. So because of that,
Wow.
it's not even a co. Everyone's kind of shouting co, shouting Seki. I'm like, it's not, but I'm going to explain it anyway, so you learn the concept. Yeah. So it was very exciting. They're like, oh, it's a Seki. Oh, no, it's a co. And I'm like, it's just dead. He bashed it 3 times, 4 times. It's just dead. Yeah, he missed the chance for a Seki right here. That's the Seki. So I'm over here like, oh, yeah. Black's going all or nothing, and white's just passing, and his whole group's dying. Yeah. So it's a very exciting game, very fun game, and these moves are really, really bad. Remember, -1, you're just losing points. Yeah, and they're like, okay, I'm just gonna pass, and thankfully the AI showed you it was dead as it stands. But I don't think either of you knew it until the AI showed you that it was dead. And you're like, oh, cool, I have 50 points. Awesome. And like, you're so lucky.
It's good intuition based on my strong.
It was a very funny game, but very exciting. I think it was a very great game, and now pretty much now everyone knows how to play Go. Now everyone can get online, play people, have an exciting game, and as soon as you can understand like the life and death shapes like this, I would say go ahead and move on to 13 by 13 and figure out those second.
Kind of shouting for 19 by 19. I mean, I'm kind of.
Oh, thank you for this, Chili Mo. Yeah, 19 by 19. There's a lot. I do have an entire like playlist on how to approach the 19 by 19, but it's a whole different lecture, right? Like today was like how to play the game and how to play with other beginners and stuff, and just that way you can play a game like 5-10 minutes and have fun. But when you get into once you understand life and death, and once you get on the 13 by 13, you understand borders of territory and the second line cuts and how to finish the game. Then you get on the 19 by 19, you start learning how to actually win. And that's where the fun stuff begins.
Sweet. I probably will actually save a little bit for the fans for next time. I'm probably gonna call it a night here now.
No worries.
For me,
does anyone have any questions before we wrap it up?
Way past my bedtime, but yeah, I'm thinking.
Yeah, thanks so much for doing the collaboration stream. I definitely learned some more about chess, which is a lot of fun, and I'm very thrilled to be able to teach more people how to play Go.
Yeah, likewise.
Go is my life, so I'm really enjoying spreading it, and this is a lot of fun doing these collaboration streams.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm going to be playing a lot more Go.
Awesome.
So
Yeah, if you or anyone in the chat has any questions or in the future or would like me to give them more advice or teaching games or game reviews, hit me up anytime. I also stream like 4 days a week, teaching streams and stuff, and then sometimes hit or miss on the weekends. And Vampire Chicken, you want to tell everyone a little bit about yourself, your stuff, for those who don't know?
yes, I'm a chess player. I do work at the best chess club in the world, the St. Louis Chess Club. So if you guys are interested, I play with viewers. I do kind of a similar thing. But yeah, I teach mostly openings and all sorts of other stuff on my YouTube channel. But every now and then I play a little bit of Go. So starting today,
I should
big
travel to
time.
the St. Louis
Player.
Chess Club and teach them all Go.
Yep, I'm taking it back with me to work and say, hey guys, this board game.
Yeah,
over.
remember
That's where it's at.
with a pen and paper, you can play Capture Go and let anyone play with just a pen and paper. Capture Go is a thing, and if anyone, I think we have like there's printable 9x9 boards, and then you just need black and white marbles from anywhere. Hobby Lobby is a great place to get marbles if you need that. Go sets are kind of scarce right now thanks to the pandemic because most of them were made in China and stuff. Shipping's a big thing, and AlphaGo, the Google's DeepMind AlphaGo, made a worldwide shortage of boards because thousands of new people learn the game, and like OGS gets apparently I heard this today. OGS gets 500 new users a day. Now, not all of them stick around, but
Nice.
there's a Go is growing very, very rapidly. Now, it's not at the point of chess, especially with the
Right,
Hikaru
awesome.
stuff.
Yeah, it's having kind of the same
Yeah.
impact. It's growing as well.
But
That's awesome.
there's a shortage of boards right now, so I would say if you can find one, great. But if you can't, pen and paper, or just get a printable 9x9 and just get some marbles from Hobby Lobby or something. It'd be great. And yeah, of course, online's free to play. I'm happy to help anyone out.
Are you gonna keep going tonight? Are you gonna continue streaming?
No, I'm probably gonna have to. Well, actually, I suppose if all of your viewers want to watch me play some games and I can explain that, then I'd be happy to. Because I still got a couple hours for my wife, whatever. But if not, then probably we can just pick someone together
Jamie
to
wants
raid.
Jamie wants to see you.
Huh?
Jamie would love to send a raid over your way if you're gonna keep going.
All right. Cool. So I'm trying to think of what I should do. I'm worried if I play in 19x19, it might go just way above everyone's head. But I'm happy to play a game. Having fun. All right.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of people are saying they want you.
All right. All right. I'll do it. I'll do it for the. How about I'll do another hour? I'll go for one more hour.
Sweet. Yeah, that'd be great.
All right.
Yeah, no, this truly was a lot of fun, and I definitely will keep playing a little bit more Go and see how high I can get.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really appreciate it.
I'm also telling chess players if you want to do a collaboration stream, I'm very much enjoying learning chess and teaching chess players, and I'm having this sort of community collaboration stuff I'm really enjoying. So if I get enough people involved, I'm thinking about doing a chess collaboration like once a week where I play learn chess and play chess and then teach Go and stuff. I think it'd be a lot of fun if we could maybe get enough people involved that every single week we just maybe play some chess together as a group, and then maybe get like multiple streamers together, just play chess and then play Go. I think it'd be a lot of fun. So if anyone's down for that, hit me up. And if you're down for that, doing this again,
yeah, I'm definitely down to do something like this again. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I'm really enjoying it.
So I'm sorry, I'm going to take over for just 1 second.
No worries.
Yeah, just thanks again to Chili Mo and to Sugi for all the donations today. Big raid coming your way, Clossius.
Thanks so much.
We got about 5 seconds to get anything else in on this stream.
All right, thanks everyone who is going to continue, who wants to head out. But thanks everyone. Have a great rest of the night. And those of you who are coming, welcome to my stream. All right. It's gonna be like the most viewers I've had for a minute. I mean, bats go sometimes raids, I guess, but oh, I'm gonna have over 100. Holy crap! All right, for everyone who just joined, thank you, VampireChicken. Let's get some VampireChicken emotes, whatever his emotes are. Let's get some of those in chat to show our love to VampireChicken. And don't forget, you're also still in Google Hangouts on my stuff, so if you can still hear me. I'll actually go ahead and hang up. You probably can't hear me. But yeah, thanks to VampireChicken. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, let's go ahead and play some games. So I'll actually play a rated game. So ranked, we're going to do 19x19. We're going to call this ranked. We'll do 10-minute game. We'll do no handicap so I can show you how even games work. And we'll do, let's do 5 to 5. 5Q to 5 Dawn. Anyone in the 5Q to 5 Dawn range. On OGS, for those who don't know, on OGS I am a 1 Dan. For chess, that I was told the equivalent is 2,000 to 2,200. In the American Go Association, I am 4 Dan.
Game started.
Yeah. Have a good game. And here we go. So I'm going to prevent the cross. I believe I explained that earlier. I'm playing 4/4s for influence as white. I like the 3/4s as black for territory, but I like influence as white. All right, so he's approaching here. When they approach with the 3/4, I usually like to play, counter approach. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. We'll be listening in the background. Thanks again. Awesome. Thank you so much. And so now we're going to play a common corner variation, which those are called josekis. Joseki means basically common variation in the corner. And so he's going to make some eye space, and I'm going to make some eye space. And so he's going down, actually, to prevent some eye space. So I'm going to actually jump a little bit further. I may actually go... I'm not sure if I want to go for an attack or if I just want to extend. I don't know if I want to attack this or if I want to help this more. I'm going to go right here. So it's a little bit of a pressure, but also a little bit of support. I tried to set up a game, but all the different settings confused me. Is there a default setup for beginners that you'd recommend? Yeah, so if you want to set up a game, I'd recommend just 5 or 10 minutes main time, 30 seconds times 5 Byoyomi. And I think that's a very simple one. And yeah, there's also the auto matches. If you click the play button in the top, it's like right above this like A button right here. So there's a play button. If you click the auto match, there's also some basic auto matches. But if you want to play on 9x9, 13x13, I think they have auto matches for each of those as well. But yeah, 5 or 10 minutes main time, 30 seconds times 5 Byoyomi. I think is good settings. Komi, I would just stick with 6.5 Komi. It's just the simplest, easiest to understand. All right, can I surround this stone? So I go here, he goes here, 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 there. So he might sacrifice these. I'm not sure if he will or not. I could also touch and then cut. So if I touch Ihane's, I cut. Atari there. That should be okay. And if I touch, he extends. There. That should also be okay. I just keep noting. Maybe I don't like this one as much, but if this one doesn't work, this is probably the best idea. I'm gonna go here. I think this is okay. I hope it's okay. He could try to play right here, but if he does, I'll sacrifice that stone to cut him off. Recently discovered Go, recommending way to learn as a beginner. So I said it earlier today. I recommend first playing Capture Go with some friends until you can see liberties properly. But once you on a 5x5, once you can though, immediately move up to the 9x9. And once you can play a game out and solve a basic life and death problem, like a very basic life and death problem, I would say you're good enough to move up to the 13x13. And this is completely my personal preference. If you want to move to the 19x19 immediately, you can, of course. But at the 13x13, I would say once you can finish borders, see second line cuts, and understand how invasions, what invasions work and don't work, at least at a beginner level, then you're ready for the 19x19. And then I have a whole playlist for how to play on the 19x19. But yeah, I would just say just start playing and then ask for game reviews. And I'm happy to give you game reviews as well if you want. 112 viewers. I think this is the most I've had. Oh my gosh, I feel so special. So he got some influence, but I got his stone. So this is kind of like my control, but he's controlling the center a little bit. But I kind of feel happy with this exchange. I think this stone's more valuable than this one. And he's now neglecting this one, so I'm going to actually try to put pressure on this one now. Yep. We have several people that would be happy to give game reviews, and I would also be very happy to teach anyone that wants to learn how to play. And if anyone wants to help me on chess on the weekends, that'd be great too. I'd love to set up some more collaboration streams. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Ooh, can you hear my voice going out? Like, holy crap. These collaboration streams are great, but man, do I lose my voice at the end of them. Thank you for the follow, Itachi's Pro. Itachi from Naruto. Sharingan Itachi. Ooh, he's ignoring. So he doesn't care about the stone. So I can keep playing, but I think if he ignores twice, it's going to be more valuable than locally. So I already have the advantage locally, so this area I'm kind of happy with, so I can keep going somewhere else. Now I have the option to play the left side or the top side. Both are kind of equal, but because he got the influence, I think the top side's going to be a little bit more valuable. So I'm going to play on the top to... I don't know if I want to go here or here, though. Not sure which one I want to do. I want to go here. I want to just get some pressure. Thank you for the follow, WZ2000. How do you get to learn the middle game? So I have sort of a document called the Clossius approach for anyone interested. Clossius approach. It basically says, thank you for the follow, 123 Joe. Thank you for the follows, guys. Really appreciate it. It basically suggests how to make a good move every single turn. And so it has different sections on how to approach the game. So the first thing is, where am I weak? Where's my opponent weak? Where's the big move? So whenever you have weakness, you kind of want to deal with that first. So defense first. And then if your opponent has weakness, like here, he ignored it. So I kind of went for aggression. So it's defense, then offense, and then a big move. And the big moves, like we talked about before, is open corners and then open sides. However, on the Nejima 19, there's another step, which is open corners, open sides, and then it's going to go to largest framework. So if you have the largest framework or area of control, I would say develop that. And if your opponent does, I would say either reduce it by playing on the line of influence and pushing it down, like playing on the line of the border. So like from this stone to this stone right here, there's a line. I could play on that line and push it down. Or I could just go directly in on like the third line and stuff, the safety line, and try to invade and destroy it. So open corners, open sides, largest area is the big move. And then if there's no really open frameworks, then you just play endgame, which is pushing the borders on like the second and first line. So hopefully that answers your question on how to play in the middle game. It's basically weakness and then largest framework. When there's no more open corners or open sides, it's weakness then largest framework. Yeah, everyone has to work on life and death problems. There's always more life and death problems. This feels very slow. He's threatening this cut, which cuts off these two stones, but I could very easily sacrifice them. Now, the other option is he might play here, which is threatening to connect to that stone. And if I fix those, then he can maybe connect out. But even then, I could play this move. And he pushes, I connect, he plays, I play, he plays, I squeeze, he connects, I... Like, even then, I don't think he can save the stone. So I feel like this is a very slow move. Oh, I'm facing a 4Q. I thought I was facing a 1Q or 1 dot. Yeah, this one I feel like gives me a chance. Yes, it attacks these two stones, but I feel like something up here is going to be much bigger. So I have a small problem, but I think he has a big problem. So still, I'm not going to play a big move. I'm going to play more of an urgent move, which is weakness first. So I'm going to go attack him. This might be my base, but I think I still have a base even if he gets these two stones. So I think attacking this corner is going to be bigger than these. If the chess collapse continue, one thing you might have fun is special where you each share an exemplary pro game. What does that mean? What does an exemplary pro game mean? Like our favorite pro games and just review our favorite pro games? Oh, very good pro games. Oh, I would totally go over like Lee Sedol versus AlphaGo. Like the games of our millennium, basically. Definitely the games of the century. It's like huge famous games. I would definitely review those and give everyone like explain to everyone the feeling of the AI's domination over humans for the first time in Go history. I would totally talk about that. Oh, you would show off human play? Did Bats talk about this shape? I guess he didn't watch. I don't know the new stuff about this shape. I only know the old stuff about it. I don't know the new stuff about this Joseki. So he has a very large position. So I kind of want to play a big move. These two stones are kind of weakness, but I don't really consider. I'm just considering them some points. So I'm considering this just one of the big moves. So now I'm trying to think of what is a big move. If I consider these endgame, then I'm looking for a largest framework, which looks like his. So I think I'm going to go in for maybe some sort of reduction. The other option is to build the left side and build me a large framework. So I'm trying to think. This one might be good. It's not like super active at the moment, but it threatens to build the left while also reducing the mid. I think I'm just going to play on this line of influence right here and just reduce and see how he responds. Does he want to get 4th line territory? Okay, so he ignored me. So I'm going to go in and destroy it. So when I reduce, you're supposed to block, and if you don't, then I'm just going to go in. How does it determine who is white or black? For even ranks, it's random. But if you're playing someone stronger than you, then the stronger player will get white without the bonus points. So black has a small advantage without these bonus points without Comey. So if you were going to place a non-even game, like with different ranks and stuff, then the stronger player would be white without the bonus points. And depending on if there's a bigger rank gap, then perhaps you would give black extra starting stones or extra moves at the start. And then that would be handicap for black, and white would still not have bonus points. All right, so how do I want to handle this? So if I go here and he plays here, this Hane, I could play here. If he cuts, I Atari and then ladder this stone to the edge. And if he nobbies, I can keep walking up, but then he might Hane. So I'm in a little bit of trouble. I might have gone too deep. I should have played the 4th line, because this feels like it's a lot more. This feels a lot more powerful than I expected it to. So it might have been better just to play a 4th line instead of a 3rd line. So this might have been too deep, but we'll see how it plays out. So I did invade, so I'm going to try to live with this invasion. This may end badly for me, depending on how it goes. So we'll see how it goes. So I'm trying to make life with this. Oh, he's just going to let me out. I thought he was going to cut me off. Okay. Well, then this was easy for me then. I thought he was going to cut me off, and then I had to make 2 eyes on the side. That's what I was thinking was going to happen. R10 allows me to escape. R10 is what I was going to do after he cuts me off. I was going to play R10 and start making some space on the side, some eye space. All right, so he's going here. So he is building a little bit of influence, which kind of affects this group from a distance, but not immediately. And he's more affecting this group at the moment. So I'm trying to think if I want to handle this. Do I want to kind of fight in this area? Or I think Ahane's fine. It gives me I can still get a little bit of control of this area while also making these 2 stones not have such an easy connection to this group. Now, if I go here, this is definitely the shape that I want to do if I can. Okay, so now I need to think. He goes here, I go here, he goes here, I go here, he goes here, I go here. Okay, he goes here, I go here. I'm not really worried about this cut. And if he just directly goes here, I go here. He fixes. I can easily sacrifice
10,
these 3 stones if I
9,
really need to.
8, 7.
I don't know if it's good though.
5, 4, 3.
I'm just gonna fix. I want to Nobi if I can, but it just feels like these stones getting cut off is a little much. If I play here, he plays here. I just Nobi. He Nobi's down, I fix. He fixes. I push, he pushes, I push. He Ataris, I double Atari. Seems
10,
okay.
9.
So if he tries to cut me, then it'll be so he should use these cuts to try and save these. So I'm just gonna keep walking and just get these points. Okay, I'm just gonna keep walking. He does connect, but I get these points kind of in Sente for free. So I get these points, but he gets this influence. Now, if he responds, if he responds, I'm just going to jump. So not responding is definitely a good idea. So I want to take and threaten to break out first. But now he has this influence, and he's using it to attack me, which is definitely a good idea. All right, now how can I use the weakness here or the opening here?
10.
I think we're going to
9,
save these.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Just going to run away. Just going to run away. So this is something that's interesting between chess and Go, is that with the clock and Go, this overtime clock, I'm trying to think as much as I can and listen for it. I don't actually look at the clock. I try to listen for it and think as much as I can on my turn. Where in chess, you're looking at the clock constantly and trying to play as fast as you can, so that way you can force your opponent under time pressure. But since I have an infinite amount of 30 seconds, I'm mostly just listening and reading as much as I can. So I think I can jump here. If he pushes, then
10,
I play here.
9,
Or should
8,
I play here?
7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
I think I'm going to play here because I'm worried about the liberties on these 4 stones. I think some Tesujis might happen if I don't do that. Tengen is interesting. Yeah. Tengen's definitely interesting. This one's fine. So I'm going to walk out. He can't cut yet because these stones are not okay. So yeah, he has to back off, and then I connect, and I can still run out. And now these 4 stones don't have liberty issues. Yeah, there's definitely a lot more freedom, but it's also a lot more rooms for mistake, I think. Yeah, so I'm just going to run away. I don't have a base or eye space, so I'm just going to do step 2 of the Clossius approach, which is to run away. So if I play here, he plays here, I play here, he plays here, I play here, he plays here, I can walk out, so this is fine. Okay. So he's getting a lot of free moves. I don't like that. So I'm going to try to counter now. Should I go here? I want to do something with this.
10.
I want to threaten a disconnection here and try to get these stones under pressure. I don't like being bullied for like so many moves in a row without doing something against it. This is something I've taken into chess as well. Whenever someone's trying to capture my pieces or something, I'm always trying to think, how can I counterattack? Because it's something I take from Go. I'm always looking for a counterattack. Alright, so if I go here, he goes here, I play here, he cuts. So I kind of want to stay on this group. Just use the stone as Aji, or as a weakness. It doesn't feel perfect, though. This isn't as ideal as I would like it to be. It's not terrible for me, though. I'm definitely putting up a fight. So it's a big fight here on who's cutting off who, who's attacking who. Alright, so if I go here and he blocks an Atari, he can Atari. So I'm just gonna... Should I fix? Should I go here? I guess I can't go here because, yeah, with this stone not being an Atari, I guess I have
9,
to fix.
8, 7, 6.
And now I'm either going to push and cut or take this and cut the whole thing off. That's my plan. So it's a ko for cut. Ko for cut. What is my chess rating? My chess rating is 1100 and something. 1100 in chess. I'm working my way up to 1200 though. Trying to get to 1200. I play on Lee Chess. The Lee Chess. That is what VampireChicken got me on. Was Lee Chess. Ooh, he's gonna ignore. He's gonna ignore. Okay, so there's a lot of weakness here, but there's also some weakness here. But the reason I'm thinking about here is because I can immediately fix while attacking. But I really want to cut off here. But I'm gonna fix and stuff because this is still like 2 options for me to deal with. I need to be really careful though, because if he gets control of this area, my whole group's under attack. Yeah, kind of like that. But he didn't fix this cut, so I'm gonna cut these stones off in the center and fight here. He's basically trying to get this area over here since I destroyed this area over here, which is not a bad plan, but he's leaving a lot of weakness laying around to do it. So we're going to see if that plan was good or not. Okay, I'm just going to come out. Okay, and now I feel pretty confident, so I'm going to play a Knight's move to attack. Feeling pretty confident with my group. So the reason I say I'm confident is because a Knight's move is good for attacking, but it does have, like a Hane, it has a cutting point. So it can be very dangerous to play. I'm going to jump in the left, because these points are what you're after. So if I can use this group to destroy the left, I'm going to. I can cut this group off, but I'm not confident I can kill the whole thing. Maybe I can, actually. I play here, he plays here. I play here, he plays here. I Atari, he connects. I Atari, he goes. I Atari, he goes. I play, or fix. He clamps.
10, 9, 8.
Can I kill it?
7, 6, 5, 4.
I think it's a bright enough future that I'm going to do it. Like, it may not work, but it has a lot of bright possibilities. So I'm going to do it. Maybe I shouldn't Atari, though, because it makes these stones not good. So what if I go this way? The future is very bright, because if I get this, it's as big as this. So this is no longer connected to this, so now I can sacrifice the stone, because it's no longer a cutting stone for the group. So I'm going to go in. I'm going to ask you if you want to let me in or not. I'm not reading perfectly here, which I don't like. It isn't going exactly how I read, so it makes me a little bit nervous. Yeah, someone told me that 2,000 to 2,200 is about 1 Dawn, so that's about when I am in Go. 2,000 to 2,200 is the chess equivalent. 1,100, I don't know, maybe that's 19 to 15Q for all I know. I have no idea, though. VampireChicken might be like 700, 800 and Go. Okay, I'm going to push through here, which also threatens this push. Okay, this is fine. So black has a lot of problems here, and I only have 1 problem. So I'm feeling pretty okay. If he's not careful, this corner might die too. Yeah, so black's thinking quite a bit. Not sure how to handle this. This is becoming a really complicated fight. Like there's cuts here. These 3 stones are getting attacked. This whole group is getting attacked. These stones are getting attacked, and these stones might get attacked in the future. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. You like fights? Alright, so I'm going to go here to attack these 3 stones and save these 3 stones in the process. I really want to push, but it doesn't really do anything, so I'm just going to fix. Now I'm connected with the tiger's mouth. Your group is dead, which is at least the size of this. So now we should be in Yosei. There's a little bit more questions on the bottom. Yeah, I'm not gonna do anything crazy like a peep or anything, so just do that. Then just fix the bottom, I guess, and we start in game. I could also just fix like right here, but that sounds really annoying. So I'm just gonna fix and sacrifice those and start in game. I think I can win that way too.
10, 9,
There's also this cut.
8, 7.
So I'm gonna sack a
5,
period now and count.
4,
10,
3,
20,
2,
30.
4
Do a
periods
fast count.
left.
40. I could do an exact count, but I don't really want to. I don't have a lot of time. 50, maybe 60, 10, 20, 30, 40, maybe 50 at best. So I'm feeling pretty confident. I'm feeling pretty confident. Yeah, C4 is definitely a big move. You are correct. Like, blocking this corner is a good dozen points, but this is also a lot of points. Okay. So now we do endgame, and that was pretty big. This is not quite 8 points because it can connect right there. Okay, so it's not those. That's nothing. All right, so let's start doing endgame. So I'm going to start pushing his borders, and he's going to push my borders. Just pushing the borders. Okay. I'm actually going to fix right here because this opens up Aji for right here. And also protects these points. This is large now. That's just... Yeah, that's actually pretty large. Because of the Aji there. The monkey jump, which is this move right here for white. This peep... That's fine. I don't really care about that. It's forcing, so I have to respond, but I don't really care if he gets 1 or 2 points right there. We're looking at this move for black, this move for white, and then maybe pushing some stuff in here. That is definitely a good move to reduce this.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
I think just take is okay. And I'm threatening to cut off the stone if he doesn't connect. Actually, this peep, and then go there. I go there, but I can squeeze. Yeah. So this peep doesn't stop the disconnection. Or it's not that it disconnects. It's that this peep doesn't allow him to go in further because I'm still this line is still right here. What's the best Go app for iPhone? You can actually play OGS in an iPhone browser pretty easily, but if you want to play on a 9x9 and 13x13, Go Quest is probably the easiest. So if you search Go Quest, I think you'll find a pretty good one. All right. So this actually is a little bit of a mistake because it just gave me a point because he can't connect back without um he can't connect back with these 3 stones unless he lets me cut right here. So I'm sacrificing these 2 stones to cut through, and so I get an extra stone. And this is Sente because these 3 stones are going to be an Atari. So he wasted his in-game move, and now I have Sente to go play in-game. So it's a little bit of a mistake by him. Okay, so I'm going to go here. Uh-huh. And this is why I got first line moves right here, is so I could activate this move. This move and this move activated this move, which I don't think he saw because he's taking a lot of time, so he probably didn't see it. And this might be a ko for his points. But it's a huge ko because if I win the ko and get one more move, his whole corner will die. And that's very bad for him. So now I get to play a free ko. So basically I can consider this, I can give up this area and get 2 moves in a row somewhere, which is very nice. So it's like, where do I want 2 moves in a row? And if I don't get 2 moves in a row, then I get this corner. So it's very nice for me. That's fine. All right, so I'm going to push right here, right in this corner. You love to attach to everything. Yeah, Simon Yun's a really big blitz player. Like 3 seconds a move player. It's insane. I couldn't play like Simon Yun plays. I don't recommend it though. Thank you for the follow, The Flying Nugget. Welcome to the Clossy Club and the Go stream. 3 seconds is slow for you. You're insane.
You have won.
Oh, I won. Thank you for the game. Thank you for the game. And if you look at the graph, it looks like I was winning pretty much the whole game. But, I mean, it was a 4Q and it was an even game. So I kind of had a rank advantage anyway. But it was a nice game. And there we go. That's a 19x19 game. Hopefully everyone found that helpful. And for the last, we have like another 20 minutes or so. So does anyone in chat want to play a teaching game, or would anyone like a game review? And if you guys are regulars, I would like the new people to have a chance to do it first. So if the new people would like a teaching game or game review, would like to play. But I would like the to give the new viewers a chance. Chilimo, yes, I can send you a challenge, Chilimo. Chilimo. Send a challenge. Actually, I'll add you as a friend first. Add friend. Challenge. We'll do a teaching game. And I'll actually show how I'm doing this. Actually, where's my dude? Thank you for the follow, Swirly Jeans. Alright, so what I'm doing is I went up here to the little sandwich right here, and I searched his username, Chilimo. Clicked on it and clicked challenge, and now this is like the game settings menu. So this is the name of it, so I'm just going to call it teaching. I'm going to uncheck the ranked, so it's not ranked. Then I'm going to make the board size 9x9. Private is just if you don't want people watching or not. Rules, I'm just going to keep it the same. Japanese, live, Byoyomi, 10 minutes, 30 seconds, 5 periods. Handicap is going to be none. Komi is going to be automatic or whatever because it's not going to really matter. And I'm going to disable analysis, which means neither one of us can play out moves during the game. It's good maybe if you wanted to show like streamers or something, you could enable analysis, but it lets you be able to play out moves before submitting a move sometimes, and I don't like that. So I disable that because for me, I feel that's a little cheating, but it is an option, but I just disable it. My color will be white, and I'm going to send challenge.
Game started.
All right, good luck, Chili Moo. Have a good game. All right, and I'll do a 3-4 point. You don't see my friend's request? It should be in the top right. Oh, you accepted the friend's request already. Okay, and I'll do a 3-3 as well. Here we go. Does disable analysis turn off score estimator? Maybe, because it's grayed out for me. The score estimator is grayed out for me. I don't like the score estimator. I think you need to train, because you don't have a score estimator in real life. So you need to train your eyes to be able to see, at least have a rough idea of the score without an AI assistant. Ooh, so he's going here. So if I block here and he just walks up and let's say we draw a line in the center of the board, black clearly has more. So if I just defend my points, he's reducing my influence. If I just defend, he's going to get more. So I'm going to attack. I'm going to try fight for control of the board. So I'm going to attack here. I'm going to cut him off and fight. So how's he going to handle this? It's a very powerful move, which forces me to be power in return. Sorry if you're hearing the noise. It's the cats destroying my house. We have a bunch of cats. Ooh, he's thinking a lot. That's good. Good time to think. The follow-ups are going to decide like the next probably 20 moves. All right, so he's going to counter Hane. Very aggressive, but we'll see how it goes. So I do have some weakness, but he has weakness too. So I'm going to defend my weakness first. So that way the follow-ups I have will be a lot easier to handle. But if I try to attack with a lot of weakness, maybe I have a lot of trouble. So I'm going to fix mine first and then put more pressure later. I'm sort of a safe player. 1-point jump would have been, or crosscut would have been interesting. All right, so he's going to go in here. So now he's taking my corner. So I'm going to, so since he took mine, I'm going to bust into his over here. Try and get into his area. And my stones are actually unsettled right now. So I do need to be a little bit concerned about my eyes and my safety. But I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight it out. He destroyed my points. I'm going to destroy his points. Ooh, redeem hydrate. Need to hydrate. Ooh. Unlike VampireChicken, Chili's a very patient player. More my style. Ooh, he's going to ignore G3. Okay, so I'm going to continue my attack on G3 and fight for this corner. VampireChicken's like really aggressive, very fast. But Chili Move seems very patient. There's no like one best style, so... Yeah, VampireChicken, what'd you think of a 19x19 game? I don't know if you were watching it or not, but if you're still in chat. And what did the chat think about 19x19? Did everyone follow it? Was everyone kind of keeping up with what was happening? Hopefully it made sense. Hopefully I explained it well enough that you guys understood. There's a way to save the stone, you think. Okay, well, I'm going to keep up the pressure. You took my corner, I'm taking your corner. And this is also letting my group get some eye space on the side. So it's very important. This is threatening this cut right here, but is that important? Do I care? Okay, so if he plays it right now, I Atari and then Atari, and these stones are dead, so it's fine. But what if he tries to save these stones? So if he just plays E2, I play and then I Atari, he can Atari and then walk out. And there's the Tsuji right here at F1 for these stones to connect to these two stones, and I shouldn't ignore a Tsuji that I know is there. And if I block right here, he can still save them. And if I kill them, I think I should just kill him. I know it's there, so I'm just going to kill him. Yeah, F1's a connection to Tsuji. What's the fastest time control? Simon Yun would be a great opponent if you want to test fast time controls. But Simon Yun plays very, very quickly. I actually don't know what the fastest time control is. The fastest I will play with is 10 seconds per side. And Byoyomi. 10 seconds Byoyomi is the fastest I play with. But let's see. Blue Blitz. 1 second per move is the fastest you can technically do, which is impossible to click in 1 second. So you would time out very fast. But I have seen people play 1 second Byoyomi with 100 Byoyomi periods, which is silly, if you ask me. Okay, so he went there, so I'm going to go here. Yeah, I would say 10 seconds or less. 10 seconds is probably bullet for us. Yeah. 10 seconds for us is our bullet, technically. And yeah, usually that's only for practicing or developing our instincts, and can very, very easily develop bad habits. Simon Yun is a prime example of this. I hate reviewing Simon Yun's games because I think Simon Yun has so many bad habits, but Simon Yun's very good at Blitz and playing confusing moves in Blitz. But if you look at it in an analysis sense, then a lot of the moves can be punished. So I really don't like reviewing Simon Yun's Blitz games. Stress me out because I'm like, all these moves are mistakes, but they're good tricky moves to trick your opponent in Blitz. It's very funny. But I'd say if you want to learn the game, you probably want to play 5 minutes, 30 seconds stuff. Okay, so he's trying to attack these, but I think these are already dead, so I'm going to ignore. This stone's weak and this stone's weak, so I'm actually going to go here. I'm going to cut this stone off and see if I can get control of this corner. I'm trying to fight for control of this side of the board. Okay, so I'm going to block. He can't cut because I'll just capture this stone. So when he connects, I have to connect. But these two stones are connected by either this capture or right here. So I should be okay. And I don't want to let him in. So now he has a stone that has to survive. So I feel like I'm in a little bit of an advantage. Okay, so he's just ignoring this stone. So I think I'm going to go for the kill. The only problem I have is this cut, because every other cut I can capture something, but this one I can't. So I'm going to attack from this side, so I can support the cut while also attacking. And since he's surrounded, I'm going to push the eye space. So I'm going to go here. I want to push that eye space. Because if I kill this corner, I have more than half the board. So I'm going to push this. Yeah, I do recommend doing Go problems if you want to improve your touching fight skills. Learn a lot of attacking and attack and defense shapes for those touching battles. I would highly recommend Go problems. They're a great place to start. There's a lot of shapes to learn in Go problems. Like, it looks like I'm in a lot of trouble, but he's an Atari everywhere. So, I'm actually okay. So I can just keep up my attack. Yep, and so this is an Atari now, so I have to take. And this does look scary, but he has, like, 2 problems. And now I come back here. And I have 2 stones in Atari, so it's a double Atari. So I'm going to connect. So I'm just watching my liberties, and I'm okay. I feel okay. I don't know who you're confusing for. An 8P that does streaming. Are you thinking of... You're thinking of Yoon Young Kim. Sim and Yoon's not Yoon Young. You're thinking of Yoon Young Kim. Or Kim Yoon Young. She is a professional player that streams. She's a Korean professional. Insanely strong player. Oh my gosh. Like, top 10 female players in Korea. And, like, top probably, like, I don't even know what she is in the world, but, like, probably, like, top 50 players in the world. Female players in the world. I don't know. And I say 50 because I don't know the exact. She might even be, like, in the top 30s or something. But yeah, Yoon Young Kim is an insanely strong player. I don't know how strong Hikaru is in the chess world, but Yoon Young Kim might be stronger at Go than Hikaru is at chess. I don't know if that's an equal position. Someone would have to tell me. So he's trying to live, so I'm just going to keep reducing ice space. But Yoon Young Kim is insanely strong. Well, that's because a lot of the 9-dans are bots now, right? She was 9-dan easily before all the bot accounts came out. Can you become pro by playing in high volume? In the West, maybe. But you definitely need Go problems and a lot of games. It's about 10,000 hours of dedicated practice. In Asia, no. We were not raised in the proper environment to become an Asian professional. I don't think anyone in this chat, I'm 99.9999% sure that no one in this chat could ever become as strong as an Asian professional because you were not raised from like 5-6 years old to play this game. Yeah. Professionals in Asia start at like single digit age and go to school for years, for like 10 years. And then they study it. And then once they get old enough, they go join a Go school and study for 8 hours a day for 5 days a week for another 5 years and then go pro. And they'll, by that time, it's been ingrained in their minds on how to play this game. And kids learn so much faster than adults. So if you don't learn as a kid, you're not going to be able to beat the professionals who were literally raised in the Go world, raised in the Go skill environment. It's insane. Yeah, but the West does have pros, and maybe you can do it in the West. I think I can block here with no problem, right? Yeah. In the West, it might be possible. Ooh, he's going to fight me here, but he has bad liberties. Like, I feel very okay. Ooh, no. I was thinking maybe Hiyatari's here. I take Hiyatari's here. If I connect it to Sub-Atari, but If he cuts, I take Hiatari's. These 3 stones only have 1 liberty. So I'm feeling pretty okay. Instead, I'm going to go punish him for not connecting here. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty okay. His 3 stones don't only have 2 liberties. So I'm feeling pretty okay. Ooh, he's going to fight a Ko? That's a good idea, considering all these forcing moves. I don't think I can win this Ko. But if I do win the Ko, his group might die. And the West Hold is too old to become pro. I mean, that's not a thing that we have figured out yet, because the pro exam is less than 10 years old. So it's not even like, depending on how often they run the pro tournament, like every top player might become pro just from lack of players. So they have to like hold it every once in a while instead of like every single year. If they had a pro tournament every single year, they'd run out of players to compete for the exam. So they have to run it once every few years, and then it's just all the 7-dan. So there's not really an age thing for Go right now. It's just not a thing because it's just too new. All right. So if he plays here, he puts a stone in Atari and I connect. I only have 1 liberty, so I'm going to connect here. So that way I can save this stone. Yeah, there's a pro exam in America and somewhere in Europe, I believe. And the pro exam for the American Go Association does include Mexico and Canada. They kind of combined it into one thing because we just don't have enough players. So it's more like the North American pro exam. And that's something that's technically a thing. Yeah, so I talked to Yunyong about how pro levels work, and she said I can get to 7-dan, which is cool, but to get from 8-dan to 9-dan, which is the last rank as an amateur, the very last rank as an amateur. She said to get that last rank as an amateur, it takes just as long to get from a beginner to 8-dan. Now, this may not be completely true in the West, but in Asia,
You have won.
Thank you for the game. In Asia, it takes just as long to get from VampireChicken's level to 8-dan, and then you have to put that exact same amount of time to get to 9-dan. Thank you for the game. Okay, so let's go over it.
Review started.
All right. So this is nice. This is a very powerful move. If I just block like this, you can see that black has way too many points. So I have to fight, which is very interesting for black. Here, though, you do need to save the stone because I'm threatening this much and you got this much. So you need to save at least this much to make it even. So start surrounding some side. Maybe connect out. And I'm actually not alive, so it's actually pretty interesting for you to do this. Yeah, 4-dan to... I think you can go from 4-dan to 7-dan in a year. If you're lucky and you put in enough time. Yeah. But after like 6-dan, 7-dan, it takes forever to improve. Like, yeah, at a beginner level, you improve 1 rank with 1 tactic. And then at Dan level, it's like 6 months to a year for 1 rank. And then at 7-dan plus, it's several years for a rank. To get from 8-dan to 9-dan, it's so hard. Like, you have to play perfectly, practically. It's so hard. Alright, so the connection for these 2 stones is actually a Tsuji, which is... it's either here or here. I think they both work. But basically, if you play here, if I try to push, you just connect under on the first line, and that's Savatari. So you connect under. And if I jump, you push and then cut the stone off. So you capture the cutting stone. And if I play anything over here, you just connect back. Yeah, I can push you, but you eventually connect back. So it's a connection to Tsuji. I think someone was asking about that in chat. Way above this level, though. That's a Tsuji way above this level. But I knew it existed, so I had to fix. But it is also my eye space, so it's very important for me to get this corner. Because now my stones are alive. This was a bit of a mistake, because I can Atari, and if you connect, I can capture it. So this is a bit of a Liberty mistake. If you wanted to push, you would want to push from right here and then push in. But you can't save these anymore. Instead, I think what would be good for you is to attack this stone, because now you're in control of the center. So yeah, I got the corner, so I have more points than you, because all you have is that and this. So I have more points, but this stone is all by its lonesome. So I think now is a perfect time for black to go attack this. And since you're surrounding, push the eye space. And it becomes very difficult. Can you do DDQ here with one of your old games? Not tonight. Not tonight. I'm more like trying to like introduce everyone to Go. I don't think they would understand DDQ Hero, but basically, for those who don't know, Double Digit Q Hero is where I very sarcastically justify every move that a beginner plays and talk about how it's the best move ever, and I try to keep a straight face while doing it. And it's supposed to be very funny, but you'll either love it or you'll hate it, and it's supposed to be pretty funny, but it's funnier if you understand why it's bad, I think. And also my reactions, I guess, are funny. But yeah, I have to keep a straight face and justify every move, and it's pretty interesting. But I also feel really terrible if I start making fun of someone's moves. I feel really bad. So usually I do it to my own games, but Simon likes letting me do it to his games, I guess. But today I'm mostly focusing on teaching and stuff. So, all right. So remember, I was saying that this stone is weak, so I'm trying to fight for control of the center to support this stone. And you're trying to cut me off, which is cool. I could capture immediately, but I was really worried about this stone getting attacked somehow. Like, if I connect right here, my stone's actually really, really weak. You save these, and my stone's probably dead. It should be dead in the corner. I believe it is here, here, here. Here. Throw in, take there. And it's dead. This shape is called the large pig's mouth. It just dies. This is a life and death problem for single digit Qs. For like 9Q to 1Q, it's a life and death problem that you really need to learn. Way above 22Q, but the potential is there for me to die. If I try to take this stone and let you surround me. So I'm going to save myself. This is a good little tip as a beginner in double digit Q, you can't read all of that out. So in order to set yourself up to potentially get the right result, you have to follow a lot of theories. And one of those theories... Wait, why did it happen to all of my games today? One of the theories is protect yourself first to prevent something bad happening later down the road. And so here, before attacking you, I'm going to save myself. That way, I prevent bad stuff from happening. Is there a reference to Bronze League's hero? Yeah. Double Digit Q Heroes is totally a reference to Bronze League Heroes in StarCraft. That's where I came up with the idea. Here, an interesting idea here, actually, would be to Atari here. And then cut this off. But I was going to cut down here if you do that. And it does kill this corner, but I could sacrifice the corner to kill this corner. And it becomes an interesting trade. I didn't expect you to do it, but I would still be winning if it happened. So even though you could technically cut it off, I didn't defend it because I didn't think it was a cut that worked or that was good for you to play. So I didn't really defend it that well. Like here, I just take, and then you had to defend, and now I can defend, and I feel much better about it. So I wasn't really worried about this cut right here, but the rest was okay because if you cut right here, I take. If you cut right here, I take. So I was actually no. If you cut right here, sorry, I take right here. If you cut right here, I take right here. I was okay with all of these Ataris because I was able to capture something if you cut something, so that was pretty okay. And for that one, there was a sequence that was in my favor. All right, so you tried to live here. That was good. But remember, eyes are in the corner. It doesn't matter, though. This is going to die. But eyes are in the corner. And then you played elsewhere. You finished the game. That was good. Watch those second line cuts you have to fix here. Then I play. You play. I play. Then here, here, and we're done. That's the game. No, I think we're gonna wrap it up after this one. Thank you, though. The right move there confused me. The F8 move. F8. Yeah. So here, I'm sort of supporting A. I'm not directly fixing it, but I'm supporting the cut at A. So it's slightly defensive. But I'm mostly focusing on making this stone not have any eye space in the corner. And if you block this side, I'm going to reduce this side. And I'm making this eye space as small as possible. Because remember, 2 eyes in the corner. Yeah, not a problem. Hopefully you find that helpful. But remember, your goal is to try to make 2 eyes. And you're trying to get 2 eyes to live in this corner and destroy the points. I'm trying to prevent those 2 eyes. So I'm trying to minimize the space that you have. So that way I can keep this area as points. So I'm reducing the space. Hopefully that explains why I played F8. And you can see it kind of fancily. I kind of fancily defended here. Yeah. Ooh. Chess streamer learns to play Go at Twitch. Who's that? I just got a banner right here. We should definitely raid him after we're done. So here I can cut you, but I didn't really want to fight a Ko. So I just defended, and you're supposed to defend the cut, but you didn't, so eventually I have to go back and do it anyway. And now I can, if I fight the Ko a move sooner, and let's say I lose the Ko somehow, then you actually have a double Atari here. So I went ahead and fixed first, and then attacked. So I'm a really big fan of my Clossius approach method, which is defense, then attack. Defense, then attack. And if there's no weakness anywhere, then go play a big move. And that's my approach, to have a good goal for every single turn. Yeah, it's kind of a big mistake here. That was fine. But this is overplay. And by that I mean it's kind of a wasted idea. Because these are already dead. And there's nothing you can do here. You really need to block right here. Because this group needs its eye space. If you go right here and I ignore right now, your group's dead. Like, this whole group is dead. Because it only has enough space for 1 eye. And you can't kill me anywhere. Because if you Atari here, I just take these. I have 2 eyes, and this group can't live. So you actually gave me a chance to kill everything on the board. But I just took, and I was like, okay. And you defended. That was good. If I go here to reduce, and you Atari, and I connect, I only have 1 liberty. So I have to fix that before I can reduce. And you blocked, which is very nice. You keep playing on these, and I don't know why you're playing on these. They're dead. Well, I do know why. I do know why. It's because if you don't see that they're dead, you need to try and learn and train your eyes. But for me, I knew it was dead, so the moves are very weird to me. But it was good for you. It wasn't bad for you. It was, you're trying, you're learning, it's fine. But since I know that they're dead, I'm like, these moves are wasted moves. But if you don't know, then you should try and play it out until you learn and can see it yourself. All right, but hopefully you found that helpful. Thank you so much for the game. And hopefully everyone enjoyed the stream today. I think it was a lot of fun. I'm really, really excited to do this. And now CL Smith is live, and he's the one who I did the collaboration stream with the other day. So do you guys want to rate him? He is a chess player who is learning Go. He's basically like another VampireChicken. Would you guys be interested in rating him? I think it'd be a lot of fun. Thank you for the follow, C. Devi. And for those who are interested, follow the stream. I stream Mondays through Thursdays in the evenings of Central Time. And I'm also looking to do more chess collaborations. My stream mostly focuses on teaching new players and teaching players and helping them improve and at the game and teaching and stuff. And we have an ad. I can't do nothing about it. Sorry. So yeah, I really hope that I can help you guys improve more. And maybe on the weekends I can play chess with more people because during the week I kind of focus on Go. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream. I had a lot of fun.
Disconnected.
Thank you so much, VampireChicken, for the collaboration stream. It was so much fun. I'm really loving these collaboration streams. But yeah, if you want to improve at Go, hit me up while I'm streaming, and I would love to teach you guys and give you guys advice. But yeah, so without further ado, let's go ahead and raid CL Smith, who is a 1800 or 1900 chess player, I believe, and he is learning Go. He has been improving very, very rapidly. He's 21 Q right now. He's almost out of the 20 Qs and almost ready for the 19x19. He also watched my beginner lecture series on YouTube, and he said it helped him out a lot. So I'm a really big fan of his. I'm a really big fan. He said my stuff helped him, and so I'm totally biased for him. So yeah, have a great night, guys. We'll go ahead and set up this raid, and you guys, I hope to see you guys around more in the future. All right, /raid. CL Smith 15. Have a great rest of the night. Happy chess games and happy Go games, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the future.